All right, the channel is live. Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to more adventure on so many levels. We're going to play Masks: A New Generation.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Woo! Zoot!
I am Christiana Ellis, and I am the Game Master. We are going to begin the very second issue of our teen superhero campaign featuring the Harbor Kids. And now we will at last be able to introduce all 6 of our main cast. Nobilis as Flare.
Yep.
Dove Archambault as Curie.
This is going to be real interesting.
Lee Burdett as Mayhem.
I can feel the chaos coming.
In the air tonight.
Can you feel the chaos tonight? Jason Banks as Vanguard.
Citizens, I am here at the right time. No, oh gosh, that's not how you do it.
Millie Katie as Ilanil.
Maybe be successful in defeating my father.
And Paul Weimer, I don't know why I suddenly said it weird. Paul Weimer as Antares.
Six Semper Tyrannis. But I got to get my math homework done too.
Okay. Oh, that raises a question. Are you in school?
I think, given my parents' wealth, I think I have private tutors, and I still get homework and have to do stuff. Yes, I think I'm about a seniorish in high school or the equivalent, taking some AP classes.
Okay, well, that's some stuff
I was thinking
can
about
use.
that this week. Like, huh? What does Antares do for school? Like, oh, obviously his father's rich and travels the world, so obviously it's private tutors.
Well, when last we left our heroes, a big portal opened downtown, above in the sky above Halcyon City, and it is a portal of the like not seen since decades ago. A extra-dimensional dictator known as Dectori the Magnificent tried to invade Halcyon City and was fought off, banished back to his home dimension by all of the heroes of Halcyon City. But now a new portal, apparently of the same type, has opened, and all sorts of shadow demons and weird monsters are coming out. And those were fought back by the heroes of Halcyon City. But in the meantime, the spillover of all those shadow hounds that got past the downtown area needed to be handled by the auxiliary teams of superheroes like the Harbor Kids. And so we had everyone fighting off these strange shadow hounds that were looking for someone, only to eventually find that falling out of that portal was a mysterious individual who turned out to be Ilanil. And she has fled her homeland looking for a way to defeat her father, Dectori the Magnificent. And also one of his lieutenants, or I guess it's a colonel, one of his colonels, I guess. It's weird because you use lieutenant generically sometimes like that, but he explicitly colonel, has also made it to the city and is hiding somewhere. But, and you've returned now to your headquarters, but one of your teammates, Vanguard, was off visiting the headquarters of the Mystic Marksman, the superhero legacy team that he is familially part of, and was visiting them when all of this broke loose. So we're going to pick up with that. So Vanguard, can you first tell me what Vanguard looks like, and then tell me, well, let's just start there. What does he look like? What do we see as we cut to first a panel showing the outside of the most central Mystic Marksman headquarters?
Long Arm is he's tall, he's athletically built because he's been training. He's getting ready to make his kind of debut. So, but the problem is he's like super nervous about it because it's like, man, like this is like a big deal. Like the heroes came out, then there's this other thing that happened, and I'm not a part of my team. It's like a little nervous, but he's ready. He has a kind of silverish outfit with an overcoat, and he has an empty holster at his side. And when he gets ready to leave and head out, you see one other member kind of give him a pat on the shoulder. It's a woman, and he kind of breathes deeply and is like, okay, I guess this is how we go. And he heads out to find his team, though.
Well, to be clear, we're flashing back in time to before this portal opened.
Oh, before the portal.
Yes, you were there for other reasons before this all went crazy.
Really, he was, he's not.
Well, so what I was actually trying to prompt right is just literally a physical description. Like, what does he look like?
He's just a tall, lanky, younger guy. Probably, I would say 16-ish, 15 or 16-ish. Pretty nebbish, but he's a hero, but he definitely doesn't look like a superhero. He would probably look like if a superhero had a sidekick in training.
In our session 0, I think you said he was 18, and it's fine if he's younger, but it does make him the youngest member of the team. Well, if you exclude Flair's weird situation.
The description got me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll say, he could be. I'll probably have him be 17 or 18, not super young if that's the makeup of the team. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I think though that we're going to start with your legacy move using your legacy playbook. So the very first thing that we're going to have you do here is the move is whenever time passes, roll plus savior to see how the members of your legacy feel or react to your most recent exploits. And so this is like you have been called to the headquarters for like a check-in. I think there's a little bit of a family dinner aspect of it, but also they have opinions about what you've been up to. So let's first see how that's been going in their opinion.
No bonus or anything?
Well, you're rolling plus savior. So if you have your sheet, you can click that in Roll20. So you've got your
Plus.
Well, right, but there's a little dice symbol next to the label, the savior on your sheet. You can just click that. Are you looking at your character sheet on? All right.
I'll pull it up.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Wow. That's a miss. So, I think so. Ordinarily, first of all, when you do this move, we would ask the other players to answer questions about your performance. But since this is just your first appearance, we did it straight. So I think where is there? Yeah, the description is on the next page. But on a miss, something you did stirred up the hornet's nest. Expect several members of your legacy to meddle with your life. So I guess tell me what you did in some recent adventure that they have all now fixated on as it's symbolic of all of the things you're doing wrong.
He just can't get the superhero entrance right. He's tried coming in and they're like, I'm gonna swoop in and do the pose, and he falls on his face. He tried to stop a group of villains from taking a small group of people, and he was like, halt, who go, and he falls. He's actually quite clumsy, and they are really, they're like, how did you fall into the fountain? It was behind you.
We have a reputation to maintain.
Mhm.
Well, I think that it's not they're not even really asking you how at this point because they have opinions about it. I think that your cousin Mystic what shoot I had it I just had it Mystic no, Shotgun Arcana, your cousin is kind of she's the most currently active member of the legacy. She's your cousin, but she's older. She's out there. She's doing the thing. And in fact, I think in a lot of people's eyes in the city, she has kind of raised the bar even above what had been previously understood and expected from the Mystic Marksman legacy because she's just out there tackling bigger things. And her take is that the problem is you are hesitating. You are not willing to put yourself, you're not willing enough to put yourself in danger. You have to understand that you are entering a dangerous situation and do so boldly with this expectation that you are there to fight. I think what is happening is you just keep hesitating and you just feel like, oh, well, I have to find just the right spot. And that you're getting in your head about it. And I think that your grandfather, Gunpowder Guardian, who retired from superheroing and became mayor for a while, and now is not any of those things, but he certainly still hangs out at the headquarters an awful lot to tell people what he thinks they should be doing differently. And he says,
Sounds about right.
Says, the problem is not at all one of hesitation. It is, though, the result of confusion. You are not there to get in a fight, Vanguard. You are there to help people. You are there to save people's lives. If you go out there looking to punch something first, you're always going to have a misaligned expectation of what the fight, what the heroing is all about. And I think that there gets to a point where the two of them are really almost arguing more with each other, which is, I think this is not a new argument between these two, but it is not ideal, I would imagine, from your end to be the focal point that they are using to demonstrate their differing opinions about how superheroing should be done. And I think that while that argument is happening, suddenly alarms start going off. And you certainly are familiar with these alarms. This is the alarm. This is not the, oh, hey, someone's at the door. This is not a, oh, someone's robbing a bank across town. This is the all hands on deck alarm. And everyone, to an individual, are there a lot of other people there? Do you think your grandfather and cousin would be having this argument in front of everybody, or would they have pulled you into a private room?
You know what? I would say they would just have it in front of everyone because they're just at this point, because it was such a miss. They are just at this point, they're just kind of at their wits' end.
Mm-hmm. So I think that, yeah, there's everyone has their opinion of what you need to be doing differently. But I would say to an individual, when this alarm goes off, this is a team of heroes. Everyone is ready to go right? Everyone reports to the Situation Room and sees images of this enormous portal that has opened, and immediately, the computer is already flashing analysis on there that has indicated that this is, in fact, a portal that is identical in nature to the one used by Dektori the Magnificent decades ago in a previous invasion. Now, this, while it's already a lot of monsters and vehicles and all sorts of horrors coming through it, it is at the moment still much smaller than that previous invasion. But your grandfather, Gunpowder Guardian, was one of the heroes that originally fought this invasion off before. And so he recognizes it with a look of grim determination. And I think that at this point, he starts to, shout directions to all of the active heroes in the team who they're going to report to. And at this point, he turns to you, Vanguard, and says, "You're in the middle of this one. I need you to stick to Shotgun Arcana like glue. Save the people that are nearby. Let her do her thing." And you hear Shotgun Arcana go,
Like, I'm stuck with the kid again.
yeah.
Exactly.
We're a pretty good team, right? I think we are.
So I think if you want to, you can obviously come to your own conclusions about what exactly Shotgun Arcana is scoffing at or reacting to there. I think there are elements of that you would know, but you could also do the pierce the mask move if you want to try to understand what she's thinking more.
Oh no.
But it could also just be that this is not a new argument and you feel just like you would just know.
Oh yeah. I don't think this is, especially if he's teaming me up with her, because it's probably more of like, stick to her, because honestly, just let it rub off. Just let a little bit of
right.
it.
Well, I think it's actually a little bit twofold, because I think given the nature of the argument that they were having, right? I think while the city broadly thinks Shotgun Arcana is doing great, the best of the Mystic Marksmen may be, right? And that's, I think, what the city thinks broadly. But I think Gunpowder Guardian actually still really has some frustrations with how she handles things. In particular, that she does tend to focus more on villains and less on, saving, right? And so I think that there is I'm not going to make you do the move, because I think, again, this is your family. This is not the first time this argument's been had. I think what's happening in the reaction there is she doesn't want to have to babysit you, right?
Right.
But the other piece of it is that at the same time that it's not about babysitting you. It's also about, you're watching her to make sure she does it right? And so she's just like, that's kind of the dual nature of this reaction.
Yes.
But so
I
think
watched the Watcher.
we're not going to play out this whole combat. But what I guess I'm going to ask you to do is to basically make one move to sort of reflect your assistance in this whole matter, right? And so you have been given conflicting directives by your two hero relatives here, one of whom wants you to focus on saving people and making sure people are safe, and the other wants you to get in the mix to try to stop the fight by taking out the bad guy and not just only worrying so much about collateral damage that you fall backwards into a fountain. So tell me, what is the style of your contributions here? Because they have their own opinions about how you should do it, but once you're out there, it's up to you. So what are you doing?
You know what? He's gonna try to save people, not necessarily because that's the way he chooses to do it, but it also kind of keeps him out of her way,
Mhm.
right? So if she gets kicked up a little too much, he's not going to be in the way. He'd be like, look, I was helping people. It's not my fault the building fell. Um, you know, but he's also good. But he will keep an eye out if she needs help, or although he doesn't think she will need help.
Mhm.
But if she needs help, he'll be there for her. But his focus will be the people.
Okay. So I'm gonna have you then make the defend move, which is a plus savior roll. Okay. So that is an 8. I'm just also double checking what your moves are. I don't necessarily have all of your moves memorized, so you guys need to keep an eye on those. But so I think with an 8, that is a mixed success. So with defend, you are you are keeping the NPC safe, but it costs you, and you have to choose: are you exposing yourself to danger or escalating the situation?
He would expose himself to danger. He probably in his over eagerness to save people, he probably overextended and put himself in a bad position.
Okay. Well, so I'm going to say then in this case, basically, this is first of all, I think this may be the biggest fight you've been in so far, because you happened to be downtown with with the other bigger heroes as this is all initiating, right? And so normally your team or you individually wouldn't necessarily be called in for something this big. But now it's all of the other big heroes of the city fighting off this huge invasion. And so I think that you're helping for sure, but I think just the proximity of all of these other heroes and such a big thing, I think you're probably gonna be insecure. So if you want to take the insecure condition.
All right.
All right. And so that is actually, although you've done the move now, so it's not, hurt right now, but like that's a condition that does, give you a penalty to the defend move until you have cleared it. But so I think that as you're fighting, you see firsthand that there are uncountable numbers of these shadow hounds, and there are literally just thousands and thousands of them. They are spilling out throughout the city. There is no containing them. And so you see that they seem to be looking for something or someone. They're like accosting people and like knocking them down and like sniffing them, but generally leaving them alone after that. But there are also like big sorts of like weird magical invasion ships and other types of larger monsters coming through, and that is what everybody's been focusing on. But as the fight goes on, you notice that the portal does start to shrink eventually, and the heroes take advantage of that, forcing all of the largest creatures. Many of the summoned shadow creatures just dissolve into smoke when they're defeated, but forcing some of the larger vehicles back through the portal, and then eventually it closes. And at least from your current place in the fog of war, you don't know why it closed, but it does seem like a victory. So I think that you are, maybe feeling a little insecure compared to all of these other heroes. But Shotgun Arcana is just right there with sort of a pat on the shoulder and just say, you did okay today. I liked how you didn't get in my way. But I tell you, I know what Granddad says, but you need to learn what it's going to take to get in there and give a punch and take a punch. And so she is trying to adjust your labels. She's trying to
Ooh.
lower your savior and increase your danger. And so you can choose to either just let her do that, or you can try the reject her influence move.
That, given that it's a cure affects that move, that's kind of.
He says, and he's like, I guess I could, next time try, I guess. And he'll, but he's still hesitant, so he'll try to reject it, but he's not.
Okay. So I would encourage you, if you're rejecting it, to really kind of like, well, okay, I'll let you do it how you like. I was going to say, just I want you to.
Actually, he'll be.
You're not, if you're not willing to like contradict her, you're just interior thinking that you're rejecting it, then that's fine. But we're going to do a move though.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
then he'll be like.
So basically.
Yeah, he'll be like, I get it.
Well,
But Granddad, he's pretty. He really does want to help people, and I think I can get hit a lot while helping people, right? Like I don't.
so
He'll try to reject it that way.
okay, so let's do the move. There's no modifier to this. It's just 2d6. Yeah. So that's a miss, which means that the words hit you hard. You're going to mark a condition, and you will adjust the labels.
Okay.
And so I think you say that, and then she looks at, she gets serious, and she just, she looks you in the eye and says, listen, I understand where you're coming from. You want to help people. But you know how you help people? You help people by taking out the bad guy. And if that's not something you feel like you're up for, then maybe you should be a firefighter instead of a superhero.
Like, well, but we do fight fires. I mean, but I get what you're saying, but you're right.
Of course
Yeah.
I am. And then I think she leaves. So yes, I think at this point, there was briefly during the fight, you attempted to contact your teammates just to make sure they were okay, but the communications were kind of disrupted. I think you put together that they've maybe mostly gone back to the headquarters, though. So, as you've been kind of dismissed, the danger seems to have passed. What would you like to do?
He's gonna, he'll tell Arcana. He's like, oh well, yeah, I'm gonna go since you guys have this handled. I will go check and see where the rest of my team is, because we'll have to, do after action report and just paperwork, and yeah, and then I'll go punch something, and he wants to head off to find his team, and he's just
you do need to take another condition. I'll let you decide which one you think it needs to be in this case, though, from failing to reject her influence. Are you feeling?
he's feeling a little. He's probably gonna feel a little hopeless, because he's like, but you said I did a good job. Like he's just kind of like, well, I save people. Why can't, like, what's the problem with that? So he's a little kind of stuck. He's feeling a little hopeless. Like I thought I did right there.
All right. So, here's a question for you. You are not able to fly. You are across town. How do you get across town? Do you like dress down into civilian clothes and, take the subway, or you just walking, or do you have do the Mystic Marksman have a car service?
I like think it's funny. And also
Gets dropped off by his mom.
No, it has a-
Yeah.
Have any of you,
Oh.
Oh
have any of you guys,
yeah.
have any of you guys seen One Punch Man?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard of a guy called Moomin Rider? He has a bicycle, but it's a cool bicycle because he pulls it off his little utility belt and it like folds out and stuff.
Okay.
And so
I've seen those around. Yeah.
but it does have a little bell on it. So like when he's
Oh,
riding, he's
God.
trying to like
Yes.
give it like excuse
I
me.
don't
All right.
know.
No,
I
no,
don't
no, no,
know.
no. Important question. Does it have tassels?
You know what? Yes, it has one, but you know what? It actually has like, if you ever think back to like the Stephen King bully bicycles where it's got like the long flag on the back,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
that's got tassels on.
Oh, okay.
And it's a tassel for like the major members of the marksmen, right? So it's like almost like he's wearing their it's like we'll put our color
the
flag
the
on their-
merch.
Yeah, it looks like the merch.
Mhm. I think as you leave, I think that your grandfather doesn't want to talk to anyone. It seems, but you can you pass by. I think as you leave, and you look in where he is looking up at a monitor showing images from the last invasion, and some of them showing Dectorion the Magnificent and his big invasion force, and he seems concerned. But, there's a little bit of the door, he senses you watching and the door closes.
Well, I mean, he should. I mean, that was his. He fought that guy before. I hope he's not too. I hope there's nothing else gonna happen.
Well, I mean, it's like, is this over? What happened? I don't know. But yeah, so in any case, you're able to return back to headquarters, and I think that for everybody else, we can sort of more or less pick up where we left off. So as Vanguard returns to base, we show a couple of panels of you biking across town, and then once again the arched doorway of the Harbor Kids converted warehouse headquarters. And as he enters, what does he see?
I think one thing he would see is Antares in one of the chairs scattered around with some sort of all sorts of bandages and stuff on
Yeah.
it. And the curtains of the med bay closed because Kiri is examining Alana, mainly just to get a baseline for
Okay.
how to.
Yeah. Well, so that means that we are delaying for at least this immediate reaction the appearance of someone who like they have a strong family resemblance to Victoria the Magnificent in your
For
headquarters.
dramatic purposes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we need to establish what the relationship is like with the others first.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't see Flair when you first arrive. But Flair does this to you on a regular basis. Flair is shapeshifted into one of the objects in the room and isn't going to say anything until you figure out which one it is.
Oh, again.
Now you know because you saw Flair do this as soon as he heard Vanguard's bike come up.
Vanguard's gonna look around a little bit. Did he see anybody else?
So I think that speaking as a player, I'm making a suggestion that an assess the situation roll.
Yeah, because it doesn't seem like you guys are in after action review. It seems like everyone is kind of chill.
Yeah.
Chill, like I'm not chill.
All
I'm
right.
not
So
chill.
here's a question.
No,
When
Flare doesn't have an action after action like like cooldown. He's the same person.
I mean, you see Antari
know,
is a
It's
bandaged
like,
up.
oh, Vanguard's here. I need to play my Vanguard prank. Boop.
Yeah. Yeah. Would all right, here's the other question. Do you want to go by long arm or do you want to go by Vanguard?
Think of it like whenever his granddad really gets on him, it's the full name, but usually it's just Vanguard.
Okay. So we're chill with Vanguard as the username.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Is Mayhem back yet? 'Cause-
No.
Okay, so yeah, Mayhem went to work.
Yeah.
So we'll check up with them in a minute. But
Yeah, but I was wondering if he saw any of the damage because some of the
Panels got
on the way in.
yeah. Well,
Oh,
so
yeah.
yeah, so I think that certainly, I mean, the fight was happening all over the city. So yeah, but certainly I think you would have a special interest in like what may have happened here in your, your sort of neighborhood. And certainly there was a building with a furniture store in the first level that seems to have sustained some structural damage and will need significant renovations before it can be like made safe for occupancy again. A couple of craters in the street. Big melted patch. So clearly there was a fight here.
Yeah, he folds up the bike. He folds back to the little thing, and he's like, "Man, okay. Well, okay. First off, what is Flare?" He's like looking around the room. Does it look like anything's out of place? Maybe.
Do you want to do the move?
Yeah, let's do the move.
So I think this is well, I think we could decide whether is this an assess the situation, or are you trying to see what there is a double of, or are you trying to guess based on your knowledge of Flare what they would turn into? So that would be either assess the situation or pierce the mask.
I would like to try and see if there's a double in the room.
Okay, so I think that's assess the situation, which is roll plus superior.
See, I'm trying to give you chances to roll the dice and fail, so you get
Potential.
potential.
Yeah. By the way, so you should have marked 2 potentials already for the 2 misses you got. But okay, so with a 7, you get to ask 1 and take +1 while asking on the answer. So it's like, what here can I use to blank? What here is the biggest threat? What here is in the greatest danger? Who here is most vulnerable to me? How could we best end this quickly? But I think, whichever one, like, who here is most vulnerable to me, probably it could be in the context of, like...
Yeah, which...
Yeah, I would say, let's see. Which... Right, which one, I would say, if it's an inanimate object, I'm assuming they can still see while their shape changed, correct?
Oh yeah.
Does it feel like I'm being watched?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it sounds like this is a repeated game, and so
this is a regular thing. You come in, you don't see Flare, because Flare is when we're not out on a mission together, Flare is in the headquarters. It's his favorite place to be.
I mean, so I think that, because you actually took a moment to try to assess and you got a hit, I think you can figure it out.
Yeah. Okay, I'll tell you. The way you figure it out is that over on the wall, over on some walls in the corner, we've taken all the panels off of the Vanguard spaceship that usually had its launch area in one kind of. All the panels are taken off, and line the walls as a kind of a protection for the structure for sparring matches, right? Because they're super tough, like armor
Yeah.
panels from a super vehicle. But one of those panels lies crumpled on the ground and is also on the wall.
Vanguard's just like, are you holding yourself onto the wall, or did you just want to lay down?
And Flair laughs, and the panel on the wall is laughs, and that's he gives himself away.
You know,
And he hops off the wall and takes the form you normally see. He's like, "Got me this time. I'll get you next time."
thank God my grandpa wasn't with me. I
Having
would have had to
some-
listen to him. I would have had to listen to him complain about, well, what kind of team plays jokes and blah blah blah. Blah. He's like, I've had to listen to him for the last. I don't know.
Should I play a prank on him?
I wouldn't suggest.
I mean,
It hurts when I laugh.
you know,
So and I,
get me and figure out a way to get me an invitation to one of their events, and I'll figure something else out.
honestly,
I've got diplomatic immunity. What's he gonna do?
like honestly, you don't want to. They're so stuffy.
Right? Exactly.
It's like
Exactly.
it's like a
You
retirement.
don't
home for the
play
Krabbies.
pranks. You don't play pranks on people who aren't gonna groan when it happens. Right?
I mean, I guess, but I would rather them laugh than groan.
See, with my people, playing pranks is a way to show that you love them.
I mean, yes, I would assume, there's some people here who would agree with you, but I don't think my grandpa would be the one to like try your diplomatic relations on in that sense.
Why not? I really don't know. I am not hearing a reason.
He likes to shoot
Everything
things.
you say is
I mean-
telling me that I should do it.
He likes to shoot things. He's the gunpowder guardian. You know,
Yes.
pew pew,
Right.
lasers and explosions and like project.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
So I'm
I've
gonna
been shot. I mean,
I'm gonna just briefly interrupt this because I think as that bit of dialogue is said, we're gonna have
Gunpowder.
a panel over to Ilanil, who is being examined by Curie, who's gonna be overhearing this through the curtains, and Gunpowder Guardian is a name that you know. So
It's like,
you don't have to do anything necessarily right now, but I think we would have a reaction shot.
yeah.
yeah, the oh wait, he's alive. Yay. There's like
Yay.
And-
there's a look of hope on her face
Okay.
Okay.
hearing this.
And Curie says, you know that name?
Yes, it took me a long time to find it out, but he's alive. He's still here.
Well, then might be a good time to introduce you. And Curie will, you'll hear, the sound of curtains opening, and Curie, you'll see Curie in the med bay with a new person.
Mhm. A woman whose golden skin and distinctive slitted eyes are very much resembling the invading force. But also, she's sitting on a like a hospital bed and
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Paper gown, open at the back.
No, she's
No,
she's
I'm in
back.
my clothes.
in
Thank
her
you
regular
very
clothes.
much.
So, well,
uh,
Flair. Okay, so one, where's everyone else? Two, who's that? They don't.
Vanguard, this
Oh!
is Alanal. She is
Yeah.
the daughter of Dectoria the Magnificent, but she
Blair
is
flies
here-
over and does a Vanna next to.
Yes.
But she
And
told us her
Vanguard goes-
purpose. Her purpose is to take down her father for good.
And Vanguard's like, so we definitely can't tell my grandpa she's here. That is
And
that-
Flair just like, ah,
definitely
No.
can't do
But-
that.
There, no.
I
Oh, that hurts.
Claire, you need to behave. Frank's
Well-
on Vanguard are one thing.
Frank's on
But
Club
involving
Vanguard, he
his
might get you
family-
killed.
Yeah.
Is
I-
too much.
I'm not saying my grandpa might shoot her on sight, but my grandpa might shoot her on sight.
I'm not saying we should just like bake a gigantic pie and have her pop out at his at a function there, you know, and surprise, hey, look at this. No,
Now,
I'm not.
Flair-
No,
now, Flair, I
no,
don't-
no.
No,
Nothing.
to be
Nothing.
fair,
Nothing
Flair-
like that. No.
and he's
no,
like, to be
nothing
fair,
like,
Flair,
nothing like that at all.
you know, here, Flair, we don't bake a pie. Usually they jump out of a cake, but
Oh,
Either way,
sorry.
either-
Okay,
either
cake,
way.
whatever. I mean, pie, cake is there much of a difference? I mean,
yeah, it's a
Well,
confession.
well, okay, you know what? It's the Jack and the Blackbirds thing that I was thinking of.
Yeah, but I mean, but either way, like, but so,
excuse me, but I would like to secure an introduction with your grandfather, you said?
Okay, I'll get baking.
Huh? Wait, what?
No.
Time out. Whoa.
Your grandfather helped defeat my father the last time he tried to come here.
Yes, those are historically accurate and factual events, which also means that if I come to my grandfather and say, "Hey, Grandpa, you know, Pop, you know, my sweet, loving, caring, compassionate hero, legendary hero grandfather, I would like to introduce you to the newest friend I've made, the daughter of your greatest villain."
Flair
And-
flies out.
No!
Claire, no.
No! And you see Vanguard just falls to his knees and says, "Oh God."
Would your grandfather wish another opportunity to give it to
Well,
would your grandfather wish another opportunity to defeat my father and ideally once and for all prevent him or anyone else from my realm coming uninvited?
oh, I'm sure once the smoke clears from his explosion caused by Flair, he'd be really into it. But it's gonna be how big the explosion is first. He's I don't know what you know about my grandfather, but he's
Not
not
much.
he's not one for it's not a lot of he's not a joker. He's a very serious individual. And Flair is not.
So you don't have to introduce him to Flair.
Oh
I'm-
no. Did you not see Flair flies? Flair's the only one of us that can fly. So wherever Flair has gone, which I'm pretty sure is to my grandpa.
I think I would like to say the moment that Flair flew out, Carrie got on the communicator to Mayhem saying, "Mayhem, if you had the opportunity, stop Flair from going to
The
Vanguard's
mystic
grandfather."
Yeah, so I think we will cut over to a construction site where Flair is wearing a high visibility vest and a hard hat on top of what they were wearing
Mayhem.
before.
Mayhem.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. Yes, Mayhem is, and what we first see is that she's kind of got her hands over her head, but they're out of frame, and another worker, also in a vest and a hard hat, is standing there just talking about. It's like, yeah, and so ever since I tweaked my back, it's just really like every time I try to lift anything, and then the panel pulls out, and we see that she's holding up like a car. And in any case, yes, that's what's happening when the communication goes through. So,
Flair
like,
flies up.
do you
Yeah.
like you shift the car so you can hold it with one hand while you do the?
I think the car's in one hand, the thing is over there. Oh yeah, hi Flair. Talk to you later. Boom. Because Curie doesn't actually have influence over Mayhem.
Yeah, curious asking.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I have the best idea ever. We need to go
Uh-huh.
get a cake.
Oh God.
What kind of cake are you thinking?
A bit. It has to be a big one.
Okay.
Big enough to like hide a person inside.
Okay.
And Flair has this is not a new thing. Flair has these quote unquote plans all the time.
Okay.
And they're usually
Well-
fun and they're usually terrible ideas.
Yeah. And Mayhem is here for the chaos.
Oh, no.
So
Oh,
she's
oh,
like, okay, so I might know a person who might know a person who can bake a cake that big.
Great, let's go. Flair transforms into a sports car and beeps.
Mayhem will put down the car where she was, holler out, "Hey boss, I'm going." Gives a thumbs
Taking my
up.
lunch.
Well, I mean, I think your boss is kind of like. I mean,
Yeah.
I think there's an expression you've seen before, which means it's like.
What are we
I
gonna
mean,
do?
I guess I can't stop you, but what are we doing here?
Give me half an hour, I'll be back.
So
and-
Flair's face is on the dashboard, like on the console to the right of the thing, and is letting you like drive. Flair isn't looking where you're going. You're in control.
uh-huh.
You know, and
Yeah, with the driver's license. Oh,
just,
Yeah.
yeah, we can drive off.
Yeah. You're also assuming that Mayhem has a driver's license. She's 19, but she spent however long as being made
this
into
is
a super
city,
weapon.
right? You know, this is a city. You don't have to have a car in the city.
Right. So I think Mayhem is going to drive Flair over to meet Nona Olivia.
Oh.
oh.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And that implies that I've never met Nona and Olivia, which is great.
So,
Nona Olivia will love Flair.
I think that's great. We will do that in a minute. What I will say just in the meta is that I am already delighted with how much this game just runs itself. What I will say just mechanically, since I know several of you do have some conditions, just as a reminder, there are several different ways that you can potentially clear those, right? Each of them does have its own sort of like narrative way that you can clear it.
Right.
To clear afraid, run from something difficult, to clear guilty, make a sacrifice to absolve your guilt, etc. Many of you also have these team moves where you can either share something vulnerable or celebrate a victory with a teammate, and each of you will have your own sort of special way to do that. And I think at least, like, depending on the playbook, some of those can let you clear conditions. And then there's also, of course, the comfort someone, which is a move you can do to help someone else clear a condition. So just as a reminder that as we're kind of in downtime doing all this other business, that is something to keep in mind. But otherwise, as you were, this is great.
That is actually exactly what I was going for, which was
Okay, fantastic.
take foolhardy action without talking to your team to clear insecure.
Okay.
So-
Yeah. No.
Ah.
It sounds perfect. I buy it
I
absolutely.
haven't actually like done it yet, but
Yeah.
if it's good enough for you, it's good enough for me, and I'll clear it.
Okay, yeah. So it's like the action is in progress, but
Right.
we'll say that the running off to do this is what kind of counts, and so it clears
Okay,
it at the
okay.
end of that scene.
Okay.
All
okay.
right, so Flair and Mayhem are off on their own new errand. Antares, Curie, Vanguard, and Ilanil are still back at the base.
One thing I would have done, basically as part of the benching up of Antares, would be
Mhm.
to essentially do a comfort move on him to try and clear one of his conditions.
Okay,
So
so
how does that work?
so what does that look like? Is this just
Like,
is it just represented by you attempting to like bandage any wounds and just generally showing
Yeah.
your care for them?
yeah.
Okay. So on when you comfort or support someone, roll plus mundane.
And I have influence, so that's one. Oh,
Oh boy.
Oh, oof.
miss.
Yeah,
happens?
unfortunately, yeah, that is a miss. And so I think all that does like a miss does you're gonna mark influence, but I think that Antares, do you want to tell us why, for whatever reason, this is just not penetrating your
My-
emotional
well,
state right now?
Right now, I am afraid and insecure, and unfortunately, while Curie meant well, my insecurity and fears kind of just like bubble over, and I just kind of it's like, I'll get better. Just leave me alone. Almost taking another condition of anger. Just is like, but there's really just this like fear and
Mhm.
insecurity backing his words, just like pushing Antares and pushing Curie away. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, well, Curie meant well.
Yeah.
Stepped on Antares' buttons.
Yeah. So I think that I was actually so I think afraid and insecure like so I think that reaction doesn't necessarily cause anything else to happen, but yeah, it didn't work. Okay.
But
So
as a result, yeah, Antares is just going to leave and go back home because he's not feeling it at the
okay.
moment.
Okay. All right. So just so that my own record is complete, it's like right now we show Flair as guilty, no longer insecure. Antares is afraid and insecure. Mayhem angry. Vanguard hopeless and insecure, and then that's it. Curie and Ilanil not
Yeah, I
any
have no.
re-
Uh,
Okay, great. All right, just wanted to
I
make
thought-
sure I had my tracking correct. So I think Antares has just stormed off. Vanguard never really got an answer as to where Mayhem was.
Yeah, I think after Flair went off and Flair and Antares went off, Curie was said, yeah, Mayhem is doing her construction thing. Yeah, Marky. I think she was keeping track of where all the damage we caused happened.
So, did we get any, were there a lot of injuries?
Antares went down. He kind of I think he overextended himself especially against that big guy. What was his name? Colonel Karzan?
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to Alana.
Yeah, I'd confirm that. Karzan is one of my father's lackeys. Not exactly the most brilliant of
Yeah.
subordinates, but my father doesn't like potential
He wants-
argument.
He wants them smart enough not to argue.
That is an accurate depiction.
You know? If you want
Yeah.
to stay in power, I think that's a smart move. Keeps competition down amongst your lower ranks, I guess. But so how does he know you're here?
Unfortunately, he the ritual didn't go quite the way that I had anticipated, and he had enough time to realize what was happening, unfortunately.
Oh, so was your coming here what opened the portal, or were you hitching a ride?
Uh,
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B?
I didn't think, I had hoped it wouldn't be quite so obvious to him. But he was able to start sending forces when kind of caught me midway.
Definitely don't want to tell my grandpa that, because if we tell my grandpa that we have someone who knows how to make a portal to wherever your dad is,
Look, this doesn't just concern your grandfather being upset with you. This consider is about the fate of the entire universe that I come from.
right?
Yes, he was stopped here, but did you ever think what it was like where he came from?
I I'm not saying I wouldn't want to stop him and but my grandpa goes a little overboard. Like he doesn't realize that he is very much like my cousin, but only the
I
fact that
don't even know who your cousin is, but
right,
if you know what your grandfather is like,
yeah.
imagine what my father is like in the realm of his own power without anyone to stop him.
I get it. And, well, I want to save people, so I guess I mean, oh, but can we do it tomorrow? Oh,
Vanguard.
can
The
we do it tomorrow?
I don't think anything involving your family has to happen today. I think you look like you've been really in the mix. So, perhaps
Besides, I currently have the key to the portal. My father might be able to create a new one, but um it would take him some time, and by my impression of your statements about your grandfather and what I know of that time, which isn't a lot. My father does not like to parade his failures around. Um, our reckoning of time might be different. So there is time to prepare, but I would like to bring the fight to him and not let him have enough time to prepare. But I can give you some time to get out of your sorry state.
Yeah, it's it's been some hours. But I saved some
Sorry,
people.
I don't understand.
Right. And he's just like, honestly, I really could use like a moment. He's like, it's been an afternoon. Especially
just
is
as
it is
a
go
note,
ahead.
just as I was mentioning different ways to clear different conditions, there's also those team moves where, like, if you like, so for the legacy, one of them is if you tell a secret about your legacy, including your own true feelings about it. Sharing a vulnerability or weakness with someone seems kind of like you were sort of just doing that, right? And so
Yeah.
that
Yes.
lets you clear a condition and give the person you were telling influence over you. So I'm just pointing that out, just because
And
you'll all need to get to become experts at how to clear those conditions, because it's basically
Yeah.
yeah.
he says, he's like, look, I'm not listen, I want to help you. Matter of fact, I think helping you might also help me with my grandpa. He's like, but this is a lot. He's like, your pops is like a legendary villain. Like this, like he brought the superhero world together to stop this, and you have a key to his front door. I don't know if my grandfather would kiss you or kill you.
Why not let him make that choice?
Because he's the gunpowder guardian. He likes to make things go boom. And the last time he made something go boom, well, your dad found out the hard way. But also, before we can even face that, we have to stop something worse. Flair.
Is that a good time for a cut?
I was kind of thinking that it was, but,
But
you also made
I-
yourself a car, and so you're in traffic. So
Oh, God.
you don't have to.
I
You
think-
know what? I think Nona Olivia lives in the neighborhood, so you're not going too far.
I just thought I just had this image of, we have to stop something worse. Flair, cut to Flair in traffic as a sports car. It's not that hard.
A little narrator box on the top. Not that hard.
Yeah, actually, okay, I actually love that, as a matter of fact. So I think that, yes, you have discovered that, like, there are limitations to trying to be a car in a
A big
heavily
city.
congested big city. So I
Right,
think,
especially one that's recently suffered a fairly significant amount of damage. There's probably
Yeah.
road closures all over the
right.
place.
So we don't.
Blair doesn't care.
Okay.
He's having a blast already.
All right.
And so from his face on the dashboard, he says, so here's the plan. The reason that we need to get a cake is because I can't be both the cake and the person inside.
Okay.
So there's a certain amount of danger to telling Vanguard's granddad that his greatest nemesis's daughter is in our headquarters.
Uh-huh.
Because granddad might shoot her, or he might go, great, let's go get him.
Mm-hmm.
So my idea is I shapeshift into her, hide in the cake, we get it delivered to his house, and I pop out and we see whether he tries to kill me.
Oh my god.
All right. So I see where you're going with the cake, but have you considered a really big box instead? Because that way you won't get cake all over yourself when you pop out of it.
Oh, that's not a problem. I look great in cake.
Okay. Also, there's less cake to eat afterwards. I don't
I
think we would.
mean, if we get a big enough cake,
Okay. Okay.
and as I understand it, these aren't the kinds of cake you eat afterwards, you know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay. Yeah. No, I think Nona Olivia can help us out with this.
Great. Okay. I am so glad to know you because you
Aw.
are on board with my plans every time. I know I can depend on you. You're just incredible. And I would like to do the support move.
Okay.
Aw.
Now, when I comfort or support someone by telling them how they exemplify the best parts of Earth,
Mhm.
roll freak instead of mundane. Can I have that?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to roll freak.
All right. All right. So
That's a
that's
9.
that's a 9. So that's a hit, which means that I believe that So they can either mark potential, clear a condition, or shift labels if you feel like you would want to shift labels.
Okay. No, I think clearing the angry, enough time has been
Mm-hmm.
has passed since That man.
Could be a
Um,
pie. I still
yeah.
think a pie is just as reasonable a thing as a cake, but
Yeah.
I'm
But
told that the thing to do is the cake.
yeah, I think cake logistically, cake can go up higher than pie. Pie tends
That's
to
a
go
really
out.
good point. I'd have to like lay down if it was a pie.
Right.
But if we're gonna do it to the green blackbird, I'm making up another superhero. Put it in your notebook.
Yeah.
I would absolutely be a pie instead of a cake.
Yeah. And we'd have to find 23 other people.
I
That
can
would
I
be
can I
4 and
hey
20.
hey I can be 24 black guys.
okay.
I'm already thinking about what it means for a hero to be called the Green Blackbird.
Oh, Fury.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think
And
that
clearly because Flair's knowledge is somewhat out of date, this is either a silver or golden age hero.
okay,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's the green blackbird.
I mean, we've already got the red panda.
Sure. So I think you are you weren't going too far. So you are aided in your journeys, like the amount of time it takes, because you realize suddenly you don't have to find a place to park because
Nope.
Oh
because you're the
my.
car, which helps.
Yes.
I think there's a moment. You tell me if there's a moment where you're kind of circling the block and it's like, what is this? Is like, oh,
Why are you
right,
circling
right,
the
okay,
block?
we don't need to park this place. Okay.
I think we do that at least once.
Yeah. Like,
Uh,
wait, didn't we already come through here? Oh, we were looking for a place to park. Why?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That'd be so convenient. Oh my gosh.
So I think that this is it's a an apartment building that's about like maybe 5 stories. A lot of brick. It's an older building, and Nona Olivia, despite being this incredibly frail little tiny old lady, is on the 4th floor. And so there's no elevator. It's a walk up.
Right.
So,
Mhm.
but you're going up the stairs, and it's not a fancy building, but it's fine. It's not run down. It's like clean. It's fine. And so you get up though, and you hear uh, not opera, but like Italian restaurant music, like the,
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
uh,
I mean, it could be, there's any number of things it could
yeah.
be. Oh, you know what? What if it's like Italian, like revolutionary songs?
I don't know.
There's
any
a bunch of really good
specifically, but I
ones.
don't object to the concept. Anyway, I think that it is a song in Italian, and Mayhem at least does not know Italian.
Nope.
So I think you knock, and are accustomed to several seconds going by, and you hear like a thump from inside. Is like, just a minute, and more time, and Mayhem's like, and then eventually you hear like 12 different locks unlock, and then the door opens, and it's this tiny little old lady, who looks up at you with big glasses and then just says, Mayhem, my dear, and like leans in to give you a big hug around the waist, because she's just a little tiny lady. And
Yeah. I think Mayhem actually like folds over her to give her a hug
Aw.
back.
yeah, it's like,
Cause she is a fun old grandma.
and then she adjusts her glasses and says, and you've brought a friend.
Yes, this is one of my teammates. His name is Flair. He's from the sun.
The sun. My
Yes.
goodness. Where people do come from these days. Well, come in. I'll put some pasta on the boil. And is bustles you all into a an overstuffed living room, meaning like it's
Yeah.
it's nice, but it is the accumulation of a lifetime of stuff. It's not like hoarder cramped. It's nice. It's just a lot of stuff in a relatively small room.
Shelves everywhere, a
Mhm.
credenza, side tables next to every chair that are like got stuff all over them. Yeah, I had a not like that. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Books, potted plants, some in various stages of relative healthiness. Um, and I think, yeah, she bustles into the kitchen, and you see her, pick up a big old pot and start filling it with water, and she comes back over with a basket of like bread, and
Mhm.
sets it on. I think she has you all sitting in like big overstuffed upholstered chairs
Mhm.
in the living room. It says, "So, my dear, what brings you to visit me today and to bring a friend?"
We want to play a prank on the Gunpowder Guardian.
Oh, my goodness. Whose idea was that? Was it yours? Turning to
It was
Flair.
Flair's.
Yeah.
It was Flair. Flair has all the fun ideas. What Flair wants to do is she wants to be inside a cake, transform to look like someone else, and pop out as like a threat assessment, identity reveal kind of a thing. Um, because we don't want Gunpowder shooting the actual person, but we do need to let him know that the person that Flair's going to be imitating is actually like in the city.
Well, if you're friends with my mayhem and this is your idea, I'm going to just assume that you could withstand a little bit of blowing up if you had to.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, I've been shot before. It's no problem.
Oh, good. Well, that simplifies things somewhat. I think I know a baker who does specialize in those sorts of party cakes that you can hide a little person inside. Or a big person, I suppose, if you make the
Flair's
cake big
smile
enough.
is just getting bigger and bigger and
Yeah.
bigger.
Yeah.
I can't do it because I don't
And
have a
just
rubber.
and for flavor, can the person that she knows be an old hero by the name of the chef?
Oh, sure.
He only speaks French.
Okay. Love
The
that.
chef. So he's not the chef, he's the chef.
The chef.
The chef.
The sheaf.
So I think she says, but it's important that you consider that the Gunpowder Guardian, he's been around a while. He's going to have security. You'll need some way to get this special cake past the initial screening.
I don't think it's going to be that much of a problem because I only need to be her when I'm actually in the room. I can shapeshift into like cake filling in the meantime.
You can turn into cake filling?
I can turn into anything, and Flair becomes a Doberman pincher, a moonbeam, a balloon, a cluster of balloons, and then and then let's see what I'm going to finish it off with.
Her.
An exact copy of Nana, and then back to himself.
Oh, that's scary.
My goodness. You do make such interesting friends, my dear Mayhem. Well, I do suspect that ought to get you past any sort of, I don't know, his x-rays or something. But yes, wonderful. I love this idea, and I would be happy to put you in touch with the chef. Are you staying for dinner?
Flair gives Mayhem the eye because eating food is one of those things that Flair just never gets enough of because
Mhm.
his people
right.
just don't do that.
Okay, so I unfortunately have to get back to work, but Flair can stay.
Oh.
And
I
if it so unfortunately, I told him I was only taking a break to bring Flair here. I've got to go get back to where I was, and that's you know a couple of minutes run if I book it.
Well,
okay.
And
Okay.
so
I have influence over you.
uh-huh.
And
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna try to influence you to stay. And so I and
this would be the
I'm going
provoke someone move.
provoke, right. I'm gonna
Mhm.
go to use that move. And the way I do that is like
The biggest puppy dog eyes you have
biggest
ever
puppy
seen
dog
in
eyes.
your
I mean, just
Oh.
like 2 inches across puppy dog
Mhm.
eyes.
It's literally the same. It's
Literally just like
Puss in Boots. It's literally Puss in Boots.
Puss
Oh,
in Boots.
God.
worse.
Yeah.
They're bigger.
Yeah.
Mhm.
and say, come on. And I'm rolling superior
Yep.
for that.
Mhm.
Now I still have the guilty condition, so I have a -2 on the roll.
Okay.
But that's fine because my superior is 2, so it's rolling straight.
All right.
Now I'm going to see here whether it's. Well, actually, I can't tell. Is the character sheet going to automatically apply the penalty?
If it's
It'll
marked
ask
that.
or prompt you.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
So, yeah.
you know what? It didn't. I'm looking at the analysis, and it did
Okay.
not. So I actually rolled a 5.
So it looks like it did a neutral.
It rolled
like
a
it's
6 and a.
six and a one
I
on
put.
the 2d6. So if it should have been a +2
Oh, it
minus
should
2.
+0. You're right. You're
Yeah.
absolutely
Mhm.
right. You're absolutely
Okay.
right. It did it. So yeah, that's
All
okay.
right. So what that means when you provoke someone for PCs, on a 7 to 9, you have to choose one or the other. If they do it, you can add a team to the pool, or if they don't do it, they have to mark a condition.
Ooh.
So Mayhem, you can choose whether to agree to what Flair is asking.
Okay.
Or yeah.
I choose one of those two things, and I choose that if you do it,
Well,
you add a team to the pool.
it does. This is for PCs, so it would be.
Oh, okay.
You would choose if it was an NPC, but for PCs, I think it's important that the PC gets to make the choice, right? And so I think it's well, I guess. Okay, so you would choose whether or not you. Okay.
Which of those
Yeah.
2 rows I use?
Yeah, and then it's still up to Mayhem to decide whether they do it or not.
Right.
I think Mayhem caves like a wet paper towel because Nona Olivia's cooking is just that good.
So we can add a team to the pool even
Okay.
though we're not
Like
like
a
doing a
cheap
big
thing.
thing. So
Right.
it'll be there for
Okay.
the next time we have a big thing.
Yes. So, so I think then, as Mayhem agrees, Nona Olivia is just saying, "Well, in that case, I will make some extra pasta, and you'll tell me all about whatever your most recent battle was."
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, and we can provide visuals and Flair shapeshift into a big high definition TV set.
Yes. Also, and I'll remind too that this is not all, like Nona Olivia in encouraging this is going to try to adjust your labels, Mayhem. She is trying to raise your danger and lower your mundane, because she wants to hear about fights and these like
And
dangerous.
mayhem.
I am
Right.
going to go along with that. I love Nona Olivia. Nona Olivia is the best worst influence in my life. I love her to death.
Flair is going to compete on that score.
All right. So I think yes. So I think that she is preparing to make ridiculous amounts of food, which is fine because it's Mayhem will eat it, and Flair will eat however much they eat. Probably could be a lot, I would imagine. But in any case, though, as that all happens, I think let's cut over to Antares, who fled the headquarters. Um, I'll let you choose. Like, was this sort of a dramatic storming out, or was this a bit of like a tantrum?
Well, since he's not angry, it'd be more of a tantrum than a dramatic story.
I mean, I could let you give you the let you
Yeah,
pick the
but I
flavor
think
of this, but if
yeah,
that's kind of
I think that's the flavor. Yeah.
okay, all right. So how I'm guessing just based on our setup here that you don't live too far away.
No, I don't live too far away.
Yeah. So
Just up the hill a bit.
yeah, so I think that there are some high rises, some nice buildings in the harbor district here. I would imagine, just given that your family has some money, that you live in fairly nice, building of. Do you have the penthouse?
Yes, we do.
All right. So I think that. Well, so here's a question: when you're going home, do you just like show up at the front door of your building in costume and everything?
It depends on how badly I've been battered. If I've had the time to prepare, yes, I'll return to normal. But I think the doorman knows who I am. My mom certainly knows. Dad, when he's home, knows. I think the doorman does know who I am. So
okay, all right. What's the doorman's name?
The doorman's name is Edward Lazari.
Edward Lazari.
Yep.
Okay. Doorman. Okay.
So
okay, but in any case,
sort of,
I think
yeah.
as you kind of like stomp up in costume to the front of this building, Edward just kind of holds open the building and just says, "Rough one today, huh?"
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I slink in, go to the elevators.
Aww.
I'm afraid and insecure at the moment, so it's like I am not bold at all.
Yeah. So I think that you are certainly this is where you live. There's no obstructions here. This seems like it's a routine event. Although I'm sure that there are certainly people who stare a little bit in the lobby. Like, not a lot. This is not goppers or people just like ogling or whatever. It's more just kind of like, well, he's coming in a costume. He seems like he's messed up. A little bit of that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
But I think as you make it back up to the penthouse, you come out of the elevator and your mom's just kind of like, "Oh, is that you, dear?" "Oh,
Yes, Mom.
I saw everything on the news downtown. I gather there was some spillover locally. Here, come in. I never know with your costume. Is it comfortable that you feel?
I'm gonna change, Mom. I'll be right back. And I go to my room and put on sweats and
So what
come
does
slinking.
what does your mom look like, Clarissa?
I had a visual and I lost it. My mother is about 5 feet tall, red haired. She's had work done, but tastefully, so it doesn't look bad. So she looks younger than she is, elegant. She kind of, I mean, I kind of got her hair and some of her charisma, but she's like, she's. I mean, she goes to parties in LA and London and stuff with Dad, so she's always looking good.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So I think she just brings you in and just says, "So, do you want to talk about it?"
Yeah. And so I spill out the story,
Mm-hmm.
including the fact that A, I let down my team, or at least in his mind, by getting knocked out, and B, the damage I caused, and threatening to spill into why am I doing this, but I'm afraid that if I don't do this, then things will get worse, sort of
Mhm.
thing. That sort of afraid, insecure cycle. I really picked the really terrible pair of conditions here. So yeah, so he kind of like blathers over a glass of what does he drink? Chocolate milk. Yes, I drink a glass of chocolate milk.
Okay, so I think I don't know about you. I'll let you kind of decide if you think it counts. But you know, your friends and teammates were trying to reassure you, and you ran away.
Yeah,
So to clear afraid, run from something difficult is one of the things that.
I was thinking that might apply here. So
Mhm.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I ran away from that confrontation. So I think the whole act of running away and back to mom might actually account for that.
Yeah, I think that can apply
So
here.
he's still insecure, but
Mhm.
he's at least no longer in absolute fear.
Yeah. So I think that you know, she offers to. Uh, I think she tells you that you know, the chef wasn't expecting you, so let's just have some food brought in. What would be your like your favorite restaurant that you would have like provide like a catered meal delivered? So I'm not
Prob
talking about like pizza unless you would want it to be pizza, but I'm like you could
no,
get.
yeah, he can get anything he wants. I think Antares has a thing for Thai, so
Okay.
that's what he wants.
Sure.
Some nice stir fry would be
Hmm.
with some spice on it would be really good right about
Yeah.
now.
So I think she gets that ordered, and then she's sitting there, and she's basically just she's a pretty good listener. She's letting you kind of just work your way through the story. I think she knows that you really can work through a lot of this yourself if you will just talk about it, and that is often the problem. Is that you
Yeah,
don't want to
that's
talk about it, right? And so she's just letting you kind of get into it this time, and she's offering a lot of like well, you've chosen a very difficult path in your life because you believe that it will be worthwhile, and so there are always going to be challenges, but certainly I understand it's never easy when you aren't able to do everything you try.
but I still have to try them anyway, don't I? I can't always do the easy thing. It's just so hard, Bob.
Well, see, that's the thing is that there are so many people out there who don't even try. Just by your decision to devote yourself to helping people, you have already done so much more than many do.
I just got to get better at controlling all this or else. But okay, I put a casting call into the Discord. I finally remembered the actress I wanted to think of.
Okay.
Her mom looks like.
Okay. Do you not want to just say it?
Oh, it's Frances Fisher from Laws of Attraction.
Oh, okay, nice.
So
So I think that yeah, so she's happy to just like, you know, eat dinner with you and let you kind of talk through it.
yeah,
Um, so meanwhile, though, we do have Curie, Vanguard, and
yep.
Ilanil. So I think the decision has been made to not necessarily rush out and do anything tonight. Did you were trying to contact Mayhem, and that didn't seem like it went your way. What are you up to now?
Well, I think I, you know, Kiri obviously would have tried to tend to Vanguard's, you know, injuries or well conditions. Um,
Hmm.
yeah.
So
So
doing another. You want to try another comfort or support?
yeah,
All right. can go ahead and roll plus mundane.
Ooh,
That was
look at
much
that.
more effective this
11
time.
with a full hit. So that means that on a hit they hear you, or at least let's maybe get some flavor of how this all plays out. But yes, so Vanguard, you are able to mark potential, clear a condition, or shift labels. But then also, because it's a 10, Curie, you can choose to either add a team to the pool or to clear a condition yourself.
I don't have any conditions, so add a team to the pool.
All right.
I will mark potential.
Okay. You don't
Not
want to
gonna
clear
clear
one
a
of your
condition?
conditions?
No.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh well, no, because
I mean, up to you, but your conditions do incur penalties on your moves, and
right.
yeah. And also, like, you get taken out of the fight if you get all of the conditions and can't take anymore. So.
Well, oh God, I'm over. That means I'm like, oh gosh, I'm about half. So yeah, I will clear one. I won't clear insecure though, but I will clear hope.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So let's get a little bit of flavor. Like, what is Curie saying to Vanguard? How does that help you feel less hopeless?
Yeah. By
So
the way, Vanguard is like slumped on like a couch.
well, she would have brought you to the med
Oh.
bay.
Okay, when he's sitting on the edge of the bed and just kind of like,
So, and Kiri is just, looking at the bumps and bruises that he's gotten and, you know, applying, some sort of ointment or cream or something to him and saying, so I take it your time with your family didn't go too well today?
oh, it went so well. It's always good to hear how you suck.
Yeah.
Mm,
Hey, at least you have the powers to back up your attempt.
Yeah, but I don't even have those fully. Like, how can I be a member of? And this is where I will. The thing you said where you reveal something,
Yeah.
and he's like, they picked me to be Vanguard, the long arm Vanguard. You know, long arm is a weapon. You know what I can't do? Out of all the members of the Mystic Marksman, I can't summon my long arm. Like, I can't do it. I'm strong. I can fight pretty good at doing the thing, but I can't do the one thing we all can do. And Arcana knows it.
Hmm.
Which is why she was scoffing at him earlier when they were like, he sticks with you. And she's like, okay, cool. He's with what? Just his hands? Got it.
Well, I at some time earlier when I don't have anything but my hands, but I was doing some pretty effective teamwork with Alano. Yeah, taking out quite a few of those shadow hounds,
What?
with the assistance of her magic.
Yeah, but you guys can just do what you want. Like, 1 minute Arcane's telling me that I'm basically the softest member of the team, and then my granddad tells me I need to worry about saving everybody. Like, I don't know.
I think what you need to do is to just try and not give a fuck about them. Do what you do,
You know what?
and your long arm will come to you.
You know what? I think you're right. Hey. And he has since I have influence with Flair,
Mm-hmm.
he will
Oh.
use his communicator.
So
No, you're talking to
yeah. So
Yeah.
I think there's a couple of things happening. One is that since you did this share a vulnerability or weakness thing, you can clear another condition, and Curie has you need to have Curie have influence over you if they don't already. I think you
I do.
had already. So, but so you can go ahead and clear your other condition as well. But I think you were moving from that to another thing, right? You have influence over Flair, so
Yeah. And I will, since, you know what? You're right. I don't care what Arcana says. I'm not going to care what my grandpa says. And he calls Flair and he says, found that cake yet?
We're working on it. We're working on it. Mayhem did in fact know a person who knows a person. You want in?
Absolutely.
All right. We're having dinner here at Mayhem's Nona's house, and then
wait,
after
are
we're
you-
done eating, we're gonna go talk to this guy. What's his name again? Oh yeah,
chef.
Le Chef.
Le chef.
Wait, you're at the Green Blackbird's house?
No, I'm at Mayhem's Nona's place. Wait,
Her food
unless,
is
wait a minute.
awesome. I'm on the way.
Pull the phone away. Point at Nona. You're not the Green Blackbird, right?
I think that there's a moment where
Oh my God.
she kind of stops in what she was doing and like preparing some more food and just kind of adjusts her glasses and looks back and says, "The Green Blackbird? No, I'm not the Green Blackbird."
Okay. So that goes back to the conversation. Okay. No, I'm not at the Green Blackbird's place. No, I'm at Mayhem's Nona's place.
Pats Mayhem's shoulder and says, "Your friends have the funniest ideas."
Like, but
I
wait,
mean, isn't it pretty well known that nobody knows who the Green Blackbird's secret identity is?
but aren't you? Wait.
I mean,
Either way, you're at her nana's house. Are you eating? Has she made food?
yeah. We're about to sit down.
And you didn't call me?
You seemed busy.
It's the best food on this side of town.
Well, okay. You know what? Fine. Mayhem, be right back. Claire flies out the window.
Oh God.
And Mayhem will turn to look at Nona and is like, I'll get down the bigger pot, right?
My goodness, I didn't realize I was going to be preparing for so many guests.
Yes. You
Claire
you
arrives-
you have not lost your touch.
Claire flies down through the access port that the rocket would ordinarily use. Lands on Vanguard's back, shapeshifted into a jetpack, and flies out.
What?
Hey, Curious, right? Curie and Aluttle are right there. It's like, wait.
You forgot me.
I figure, if we had a chance to show you some good food, you would not go against that. But
And you hear Vanguard is like, but what about Kira?
I mean, there's only 4 chairs at Nona's table. There's no room for any more than that. You're it. We're stacked up. I mean, as it is, one of us is going to have to stand. I was just going to turn into a chair.
Maybe not a chair, maybe like an easel, something that someone might not accidentally sit on.
I've been sat on before. It's no big deal.
But I do think you do have a good plan for my grandpa.
You haven't heard the plan yet.
Your plans are always
So
Aw.
we arrive as I'm just finishing re-explaining the plan to Vanguard.
All right, so I think like dinner is continuing over there, but like Curie and Lionel, yeah, like you just kind of like
my dad,
Uh,
my dad's making some nice roast. Want to have dinner
Poor
at
little.
my place?
I would, but I do not wish to frighten anyone, and considering, was it Vanguard's reaction to seeing me?
I think Vanguard is mostly just a a question about his family.
Well, I
Yeah.
can understand that.
And my stepmom's not in town at the time right now, so she wouldn't be there to judge. And my dad, he's chill as long as I can assure him there's not going to be any damage caused by you.
Okay. Well,
Are you worried about people walking, on the way there, giving problems? Ah,
I, I,
I run to my bunk and get a kind of a hoodie kind of thing and say, put this on. It should cover you enough so people won't think too much of you.
all right. And I try to put myself into this strange garment. Um,
It's oversized, so it's yeah.
but
Probably.
it's like, okay, it's a robe with a hood attached, but not floor length. All right, I think I got this.
Got a big kangaroo pocket?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I'll place my
Yeah.
gate ball into the pocket.
I mean, if you want to
Gate
hold
ball
on to
corner
it,
pocket.
if you want to hold on to it, that's a good spot. Otherwise, you could leave it here.
I'd feel more confident keeping it with me.
Okay.
Um,
Right.
wrong hands and all that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think we can follow them as they're heading off. Give me just a moment. Everyone, feel free to vamp as you like. I need to take just a couple minutes. I will be right back.
Ready?
To bring into the recording something that I've been thinking about on the chats while we're talking that Flare can eat anything that has hydrogen in it, but does not really like red meat, and especially not liver, because iron really just slows him down a lot, and until he can kind of segregate it, it's not good for his metabolism.
He would not like.
Yeah.
He
If
would not
if
like.
he tells if he tells Nolan and Olivia that she will make sure
Oh.
that the spaghetti sauce is not meat based. So
I mean, a little bit
you're
is
fine.
okay, but he's I mean, he had liver and onions once and was sick for a week.
He
Yeah.
would
Oh.
not like spinach or broccoli.
Contrary to popular opinion, while they do have iron, it's not really a lot. But
Oh, it's an easier to process iron.
yeah,
Essentially?
it's
Okay.
yeah, it's
That's good.
but yeah, he's a big fan of carbohydrate.
Yep. Yep.
By the way, how much more comic booky could it be if like a group of teen superheroes just abandons one of their member to go to another's home because there's great lasagna?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that just sounds like teenagers. Almost, literally.
I mean,
So-
yeah, we're kind of dramatic and kind of go off at the drop of a hat like that.
So as it turns out, around the dinner table, Flair has shared a vulnerability or weakness with Mayhem and Vanguard.
Oh.
In that if he eats or takes in iron, it slows him down some. It's not a poisonous, but it's just not good for his system.
Kind of like
and
mild lactose
what
intolerance.
they have the option to do because of my share a vulnerability move is they should tell me what I should do to fit in more.
Okay.
And if they do, and if I do that, I get +1 forward and mark potential.
Okay. Rocket. Yeah.
So what would Mayhem and Vanguard tell Flair to do about this vulnerability?
Well, they say like maybe if you introduce yourself to it a little bit at a time, like they do it with babies. Babies they take these like things with like a bunch of stuff they could be allergic to, and because that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds more like an allergy
Okay.
than like
Yeah.
because I mean you can pick up iron things, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
That's it. So you just have a
It's a
food.
matter of absorbing it. Like if somebody hits me with with an iron weapon, that doesn't get like absorbed. That's not a problem. But if I eat it or absorb it somehow,
Okay.
then it's a problem.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that might be a food allergy.
What does Mayhem think?
Um, I think you could just treat it as a food allergy to iron-bearing meat or, different kinds of foods. I mean, there's all kinds of food allergies. It's not that weird. Um,
Oh,
you
I
can
thought it
just
was
tell
really
people,
weird. I mean,
no,
you
no.
don't have like a fusion reaction going on inside your body.
Uh,
You're
well,
not
you'd
doing a
have
good
to
one.
ask my creator about that. Um, the
Okay, Vanguard,
yeah.
you don't have a fusion reaction going on inside.
Not to my knowledge, but you're not like actively radioactive.
Well, that's because of the shielding I wear.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Phew. I'm bald enough as it is.
Okay, now have you ever? I mean, have you ever heard the story about what happened to, um, the first of my, well, not really the first, but
Your predecessor?
yeah, one of my predecessors. Yeah,
No.
Sundial was the first one that you had mentioned.
Sundial. Yeah,
But that one was the one that just retired. Sunbeam was the one that.
Sunbeam. Yeah, he was a silver generation, um, and yeah, this was when the and we'll name an alien race that we don't have because it's not. I have not
You
made
know,
that
the
up.
time frame is not wrong. That it could have been during the Dictori invasion, if that would line up nicely for you.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. He basically shut off his shielding, and self-destructed in order to obliterate one of the invading armies of Daktari.
I think my grandpa.
I mean, if
I
I
think
were to
it's
shut
check-
off my shielding, and there's like multiple fail safes to keep that from happening, you would, for an instant, be exposed to the surface of the sun.
Yeah. And then after that, we would be crispy. Um,
So that just means you got to keep like I don't know a lot of bean products because you having gastrointestinal issues might be
Might be what?
bad. You and
What?
gastrointestinal issues.
No, it's fine. I've got, yeah. Oh, my farts are not a problem.
yeah.
Can you light your
Yeah.
own?
No, I
think.
think-
Okay, look.
Wait,
What
can you
when
light your
after my
own fart?
metabolism is done with something, you get helium. It's not a problem.
so you can light your own farts,
No, helium doesn't oxidize,
but like
and I only produce a tiny amount of it. I get all the energy I need from about 3 micrograms of hydrogen.
All right, so I think at some point we cut away from this conversation.
About atomic farts.
I mean, I'm not saying I don't love it. I'm just
Yeah.
I think
But this is an example of the kind of conversation that's going on
Oh,
around
sure,
the table
yeah.
as we're having the-
so what so for Curie, what does the building where you live with your dad and stepmom look like?
It is nice, like kind of showy nice, but if you look close, there are issues that more money is spent on aesthetics than upkeep,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a doorman, but it's just mostly someone who just stands by the door and just stares at people that walk by and doesn't really stop people from going in or help people going in.
Mm-hmm.
The apartment itself is somewhat plain. There's some knickknacks that are in the latest style, but mostly it's just clean and otherwise organized.
And I'm just going to be fascinated by absolutely everything because everything is new to me. Like even like walking down the street with fire hydrants. Fire hydrants were like fascinating. Like, what does this? And I've been doing a bit of a so what is this for? What is that for? Sort of thing because
Yeah.
it's
And
literally all new to me.
obviously giving a general rundown of the purpose I think things have, because might not know everything.
And so although I will say back to before we cut to the dinner table and then back to us, one of my team moves is when I share a vulnerability or weakness with someone, ask them if they would defend me against people who must trust you. The thing is, Curiosity,
Oh yeah.
like Curiosity did it, like without
Mhm.
me even having to ask.
Yeah.
So, if they say yes, clear a condition and shift savior up and any other label down. Um, and I did actually have guilty
Mhm.
as a condition,
Okay.
so I'll take off that and bump my savior up.
Okay.
And I think I'll do danger down. I mean, mundane down.
Okay. Great. Great. Love this. So, is,
And
is
so,
like everyone's doing a good job of clearing their conditions now. I think I show d- so Antares, you still have insecure.
Right?
Um, Flair, did you cleared?
Still has guilty.
Still has
I'm,
guilty.
I'm,
Okay.
I'm working on it. I'm
Sure.
working
Yeah,
on it.
yeah, yeah. It's fine. I'm not, I mean, I'm not judging you. I'm just trying to keep track. I mean, I think as we go on and everybody's more used to this, I probably won't necessarily always be keeping tabs on it myself because I'll
mhm.
trust you all to do it. But since we're still learning the system, okay. So I think great. I think as you return home, you smell. Sounds like you already knew roast was for dinner tonight.
Yeah,
Um,
it's something that's been in a crock pot for several hours.
oh, okay. So I think then, yeah. Do you want to tell what your father looks like? What the apartment's like?
Well, I already gave kind of overview.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of. Well, it's a little. Uh, oh, I can't think of the term for
Well,
it, but the. Go ahead.
I was going to say, how about a detail that is a decor detail that would have come from your dad and a decor detail that would have come from your stepmom?
Okay. The decor detail that came from the stepmom is knickknacks in the latest fashion. So, you know, some kind of a stereotypical view of the latest fashion. And
I'm not sure I know what you
well,
mean. Like clothing or
like knickknacks, like uh, the kind of thing you'd see on the front of the latest style magazine. Uh,
Um,
this
oh,
interior decorating magazine.
okay, just like everybody has bowls of those weird little wooden wicker balls now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. All right.
And for dad, the uh, what he brought to it for decor is a really, really nice, really solid wood table, and that's where he tries to have as many meals as possible.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say it was handed down from his great grandfather, who built it himself.
All right. Great. so I think yeah, he's just you know did I your I think your dad would certainly default to calling you Shauna or just some
Oh yeah,
other like
yeah, that's fine.
honey or whatever. But
Yeah.
I think there's a moment where when he sees Ilanil with you, just says, "Hello, Curie."
Sean is fine.
Okay.
I
All right,
already.
all right, all right.
This is Alano. She's new in town.
And I think you can see Ilanil and like both of you can like realize that there's a little like it's not like fear or even really mistrust as much as a like just maybe like surprise and a little bit of uncertainty, but he offers to shake your hand.
And I'm completely unfamiliar with this, so I'll tentatively reach out my hand too. I, I don't know what
Oh,
this means.
Yeah, so I think he kind of like like this, and he just like he'll just gently like show you how he to do the handshake as he's
Okay.
um
And
and
then,
I yeah, I think your dad, Curie, is pretty intuitive for this sort of thing. Like he is already picking up like okay, I kind of think I see the vibe here. And so he's not going to ask a lot of questions. He's just going to say well, come on in. Are you staying for dinner?
I yes, I have been
Fine.
invited. Thank you very much for um whatever you have
Oh, of course.
provided.
Anytime, anytime. Here, let's see. Um, I. How about you? Here, take a seat. Here, would you like something to drink? Water, lemonade, wine?
Um, I I'll try the lemonade.
I think he gestures to you, Curie, to follow him into the kitchen, where he's just going to say, "Does she need to stay here tonight?"
You know, that might actually be a good idea. I don't know how who's all going to be at our HQ, and it's probably a good idea if she's not alone.
Claire will be back there eventually.
eventually.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
who knows what you're off to? So
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
that's okay. That's fine. We've got fresh linens in the guest room. So I think if she's, I guess just let me know if she needs anything special.
Yeah. I'll yeah. I'll make sure she's comfortable.
All right. Yeah. So I think they bring lemonade out, and you can we can imagine that you're uh, getting to what do you think of like crockpot roast?
um
It's a beef roast, by the way.
beef roast, okay, so it's definitely going to be strange to me. Um flavor combination unlike I've had before. Um I there's a couple of animes that are running through my head as inspiration. Couple one of them like um Welcome to Japan, Miss Elf, and so it's like the flavor, the food of our earth is like got so much more complexity to it and such that like the Miss Elf loves it. So I'm like I have no idea how this compares to anything else on this in this world, but it is the first thing I've had that doesn't taste and that like it's an incredibly new taste. I can't even describe it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Likewise with the lemonade, it's like something completely foreign. I'm not going to be like, it's like I'm going to. It's going to be visible that I'm trying to rein in my curiosity and my surprise, but also be very thankful for this experience.
So Alonel and Flair have something to bond over.
Oh boy.
Oh, we'll find that out later.
Yep.
And the influence starts flying.
Let's see.
Oh yeah.
All right. So I think I think we would have a big splash panel that's kind of one of those where we've got a similar framing, but it's split between these various dinner tables, right? We've got Vanguard and Mayhem and Flair at Nona Olivia's. We've got Antares at his own home dinner table with his mom, and Elanil and Curie at Curie's place. But then here's a question: how do you, as a team, regardless of where you are to begin with, how do you know when something's happening? Do you have like a computer that would send out an alert, or do you just have to rely on you hear something out the window, or what is your warning system to tell you when there's trouble?
I think it would make sense for us to be kind of tapped into the Mystic Marksman's warning system, but just for the harbor area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's
And it
there's a,
would
there's a
convert
unit
all.
there's a unit that Flair rigged up that's connects their the team communication system is accessible to it's not the sense that they can talk to us, but rather there's a a place they can send a text message or something like that will alert us. And probably there's probably a certain amount of, all right, can the kids handle this one?
I really
so-
don't want to do that.
So we
Like,
kind
it's
of get some of the crap jobs.
Yeah, so you think you get alerts that are filtered through, others have seen them already, and they go ahead and let some through and catch others. Okay.
This is like calling Superman when Daredevil can handle it.
Although I'd say it's a cross-universe application of that.
Sure. Okay, well, I think that this big panel that shows all of these different dinner tables will have below it little inserts to show that each of you, all at once, your little ring that you
Rings.
wear, light up. Or
Oh
light,
no,
do
they don't light up.
They
They make a 1965 era telephone ringing noise.
Okay. All right. Ring, 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 ring.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think
banana phone.
the text of the ring would go across, showing each of you with your rings, your rings ring.
I'll get this one, guys. Okay, and so I find check on what it says.
All right. It says that there is a giant tree growing in the middle of a plaza, and that there are animals attacking people.
All right. Well, duty calls, Nona. It's sorry. This has been lovely, but we really have to go.
She just says, "Oh, let me put something in a Tupperware for you." And she's bustling around, but obviously, I think you can all.
Yeah.
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 We're all torn between animals attacking people, but pasta.
Thai food.
Vanguard undid the buckle on his pants, and he's just like,
So yeah, this is a walk up. So there's probably a fire escape, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. so Flare hops out into the fire escape and transforms into a Silver Surfer style floating surfboard. Big enough for two.
Nice.
Okay. Yes, we will. We will silver surfer our way.
No seatbelts, huh?
Nope.
He hops on.
And I Kiri will get it, and we're gonna have to get you one of these. Arnold.
Oh,
Oh boy. Dad, I hate to do this, but I'm gonna have to cut dinner short. Apparently, there's some animals attacking people. It's weird.
I understand. I understand. I just hope you'll be careful.
Oh yes, yes. This should hopefully will be much easier than last time.
What about Antares?
I get the ring. Mom, there's a giant tree and animals attacking people. I gotta go. Thank you for dinner. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this.
And
Just my mom
she
and-
puts her hand on your shoulder and she just says, "You can do this."
Aw.
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 And so I go running for the elevator.
Mhm.
I am still an insecure, which is why I said I can do this. I can do this. I can do this.
Yeah. Okay. So I think if each of you are able to get from the ring's message, like where this is
Yeah.
happening, I think
Yeah.
that makes sense. So you wouldn't have to like go back to headquarters to find out or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So I think
And we check in with each other. Where are we going to rendezvous? You know, here's the spot.
Yep.
So we
Yeah.
all like head for that spot.
So I think that the law of narrative convenience will have you coincidentally arriving together at like one of the main entries to this is a big sort of it's a big plaza outside what is called the old customs house, you know, and right now it's actually like it's offices and kind of like a mall and kind of a tourist sort of building now, but it's a big fancy old building, old-fashioned building with a big plaza, you know, out front. In you know this you know you can it's near the water. It's not like right on the water, but like the plaza adjoins the water. But there is now in the center of what usually is just a very elaborate sort of brick mosaic pattern on the ground. There is a 60-foot tree, maybe an oak. But usually they don't glow purple. This one is.
Mhm.
And it is growing right out of the ground. And I think that your initial impression here is that although the reports did say it was animals attacking people, I think those of you who have been in town for a while see and immediately groan that this is not ordinary animals, or for that matter, strange animals. This is the Zoo Crew. It is a
Oh no.
supervillain trio. The panda, the giraffe, and the lemur. They have animal powers. They're very lame.
Wow.
But they don't usually have the ability to make giant magical purple trees grow. So something's
Right.
up.
Something's up.
Normally
Something's
they
new.
wouldn't be able to do this. So, but you gather there, and I think that this sounds to me like we would be about to, you know,
Yeah.
engage in battle as a team. But here's
Yeah.
the question:
Mhm.
who's your leader?
Not Mayhem, because Mayhem is already going to punch the red panda in the face
Well, hang on.
because he's lame.
Okay, except that as I just said, we are doing the
Yes.
start of battle as team.
Okay.
Enter
Yeah.
battle
Okay.
against a
So I
danger
think
foe as a team.
we have not changed it from Vanguard since the last time we decided.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so we're going to start by adding 2 to the team pool. So we're actually at 5 now. Well, okay. Well, first we have to answer the question. So we would start. By default we would be adding 2. Does the leader Vanguard? Do you have influence against all of your teammates?
No, but they do have it with me.
Yeah. So don't add one there. Does everybody have the same purpose in this fight? And this
Oh.
is all of you just like to decide
Yeah.
as players. Do your characters all have the same
To
purpose?
to end this threat to the citizens of Halcyon City.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Sure.
Yes.
So we'll add one more.
Yeah.
Do any of you mistrust Vanguard or the team?
Nope.
No?
No.
Everyone's in pretty good shape right now, I think.
Yep.
Yep.
And I don't think the team is ill prepared or off balance. So I think we're going to add 3. So that means we're starting with 6 in the
Ooh.
team
Yay.
pool,
Yay.
which of course you use for doing help moves and or other things. But yeah, so you so what does this look like as you're all running in? We've already heard that Mayhem is just taking off like a shot out of a gun to go punch.
Yeah.
But what else is what is everyone else's sort of like
After
entering battle
Flair
pattern?
drops off his passengers, he's going to turn back into his regular form and fly up over the battlefield and do and try and like figure out what's going on. That's his usual first move in a battle. It's
Okay.
kind of what he does recon.
All right.
Vanguard wants to assess the situation.
Well, so it sounds like that is part of what Flair was going to do as well.
Mhm.
And so, do we want to have one of you helping, and the other role?
Yeah,
I-
and it's probably best right now because I still have the guilty condition that I will, if necessary, I will be helping.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I will assess because I have a 0 in superior, but I don't have any conditions.
Yeah, I have 0 in it as well with my condition. So
Okay. Well, so so if Flair is spending the team to help,
well, I mean, I'll spend it if I need to bump it.
hang on,
Right.
I'm trying to remember. Like I've lost track of where this move is, or how helping works.
Helping is I can give a +1 by spending a team pool.
Oh, okay, yeah, it just makes sense. Yeah, all right, that works. So yeah, so go ahead and roll plus superior, Vanguard, for your assess the situation.
Oh,
Ooh.
Look at that. That is already a full hit. No helping needed there. And so what that means is that you get to, I guess there's 3 of those, right? All my different windows open. Yeah.
Ask
So
2 questions. Yeah.
yeah. So on, you get to choose 2 of the questions from this list. What here can I use to blank? What here is the biggest threat? What here is in the greatest danger? Who here is the most vulnerable to me? How could we best end this quickly?
who is I would like to say who in regards to kind of like who's most vulnerable, but like of the people, or they're like what people are in the most danger?
Well, what
Well,
here
there
is
is
in
what-
the greatest danger is one of the questions.
Oh yeah, what is in the greatest danger?
Okay. It seems as though that the zoo crew here is trying to cause like a big fuss, right? Like it doesn't look like they have. This was not an attempt to like sneak in somewhere and steal something, or a smash and grab. Like they're trying to cause a big dramatic scene.
Oh.
And so what here is in the greatest danger is basically just like all of the civilians in the immediate area. And so like right now though, so it seems like they're just causing like general havoc. Yeah. And so, and you're going to get a +1 while acting on the answers. So in this case, like trying to save those people, you would have +1 for doing that. And then you have another question. You're muted though.
Yeah, the second question would be, how do I end this quickly? Will I
Okay.
do people have an idea?
You spot that all three of these, the zoo crew, are wearing purple glowing amulets. And you
Ah.
suspect that these guys would not normally be up to this level of chaos, except that they've got something. You think if you could get those off of them, that would end this, or like they would be much easier to deal with.
Okay. Then Vanguard will look over to Cura and be like, Curie, and be like, can you get the civilians out of the area? Because and then we'll shout to the whole team basically. We need to remove those pendants, and I will point out the purple, glowy pendants that they seem to be wearing.
Okay. So, I think we had, let's go ahead and do just since we did one of those moves already. You're punching Mayhem, right? So,
Yep.
So there's the tree, and there's the
Mhm.
3 members of the zoo crew: the panda, the lemur, and the giraffe. And I think that they are. If everyone is familiar with the character the Rhino in Spider-Man comics,
Mhm.
it's basically that, except that it's a panda, a lemur, and a giraffe. Like they're in essentially really fancy kigurumi like animal pajamas, like where their human face is visible, like in a hole where the animal's face would be. But the thing is, they are actually like sort of physically distorted. Like the giraffe has long arms and legs and a long neck. The panda is kind of like big and sort of rotund. The lemur is small and really skinny, right?
Uh-huh.
And they all have these glowing things. And then, of course, like I said, there's the big tree. Who are you going to go punch? Yeah,
I want to say the tree. I want to say the tree, but I'm actually going to say the panda because I think we have a history.
Well, I was going to just say, like, I'm happy for it to be the panda and that you have a history. I love that. But also, like, if you want to say the tree, why not the tree? It sounds like that was your first impulse. Why would that not be what Mayhem does? I mean, if you, it's your decision. I'm just going to encourage you that whenever you start with saying, I want to say, I'm like, well, why don't you say that?
Okay.
say
Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to go after, I'll go after the tree.
Okay, great. So this is going to be directly engaging a threat, I assume?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. And when I do punch everyone, when you charge into a fight without hedging your bets, you can shift your danger up and any other level danger or any other level down.
Mm-hmm.
Does that apply to this situation?
Well, it would, but what is your danger right now? It can't
It's
go above
3.
It can't go
Yeah,
higher
that's
than
as high as it can go.
Okay, then we'll just leave it at 3 and we're going to punch a tree.
All right.
It's like everyone's first steps in life.
And that's a
Look at that.
12.
Nice. Okay.
Wow.
So full hit.
Oh, mama.
So that means that you're trading blows, and on a 10 plus, you pick 2 from the list: resist or avoid their blows, take something from them, create an opportunity for your allies, impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
I think don't take any danger and then create an opportunity for somebody else to figure out what the heck is going on with this tree.
Okay. So like, do you have in mind a specific opportunity you want to create? I can suggest one, but if you have one.
Um, I was just thinking maybe like one of the branches pops off, and kind of like exposes what's inside a
Hmm.
little bit. Um, if it was a tree like Whomping Willow Tree, then that would obviously hurt it and it would recoil. But
Yeah.
you didn't say that that's what it was doing.
Well,
I figured it was just a regular tree.
it was glowing purple.
Yeah.
Uh
So
huh.
there is
And
that.
there's
but-
the glowing amulets too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think what happens is you just like run up and just like punch the trunk. I mean, I love that. I'm just
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
I
mean,
think
Mayhem's
no.
a pretty direct person.
Yes.
Yeah. I think you punch a big old like chunk out of it, and it like it creates it like there's a big old sort of divot in it with wood that sort of starts to splinter out, but then it kind of like dissipates into nothing as it leaves the rest of the tree. But I think the opportunity here, you first of all feel that there is a strange energy coming off of this tree
Mhm.
that could be like dangerous, but able to avoid the like the sort of discharge that it seems to be generating. But as you create this damage to the tree, the opportunity here is that all three of the zoo crew members immediately have like, oh, like they're suddenly almost like they're in pain.
Cool.
Aha.
Okay.
Okay. So, what about what's Antares doing?
Unless Vanguard has given him immediate orders, he's going to go after one of the zoo crew. Presumably Panda, probably.
Sure.
And we're going. I mean,
I think
I don't punch things, but I kind of go direct. Yeah, let's turn into the glass cannon and so to speak, and blast the Panda a bit.
great. So I think what the panda had been doing was they were uh, they you realize as you approach that somehow they had their hands on like a street light pole, and extending out from where they were touching it, it was turning into bamboo.
Oh.
But he has like recoiled away from it in reaction to this. So I think you're gonna have a brief moment of bonus here. So I'll basically give you a +1 bonus to your attack. So this sounds like it's a directly engaged threat, right?
Yep.
So go ahead and roll plus danger, but you get a +1. Okay, that's an 8, which means that you're going to trade blows. You get to choose one from the list of resist or avoid their blows, take something from them.
Take
create-
something from them. I want to take
Okay.
the amulet.
Okay, great. So I think that as you are grappling with him, first he's much stronger than you kind of expected. And so he resists, and as he gets his hands like around your forearm, your forearm briefly starts feeling like almost rigid and paralyzed, and you can see like the arm of your costume looking like your arm is getting turned briefly into bamboo. And you're able to get the amulet off of him, but you're gonna take a condition in the process because it was like alarming that like they have unpredictable powers apparently.
I'm angry. It's
yeah.
like he's wanting to turn me into wood.
Right.
Hell with that.
But I think as you have pulled the amulet off of him, you're holding it, and as you're holding it, you can see that it's like arcing like purple electricity between the amulet and the tree, and that doesn't like hurt you or anything right now, but you can see that it's doing that. In the meantime, the panda has like dropped back down looking scared, and he is looking like he is perhaps going to try to enlist help from his buddies.
Uh-huh.
He's trying to get away from you now that you've got the amulet off of him. Ilanil, what are you doing?
Hmm. I am. I'm going to try. I'm going to take power from myself and try to like use magic to like contain the tree so that it can't move.
Okay. The tree?
Yes.
Okay.
So it can't be trying to hurt anyone.
Okay, well the
While-
tree wasn't really moving, but you can try to isolate the energy it's giving off.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Um,
That sounds like well, so here's the question. In your mind, is this more about protecting people from it or more about containing the threat?
more about protecting people.
Okay, so we can say this is a defend then. So you're basically
Okay.
so let's roll. This would be roll plus savior, and let's see. It's a valid question because it was Vanguard that did the assess the situation, and gets a +1 while acting on the answers. I feel like if you spend a team, you can get the +1 from that already as well.
Okay.
So you can choose to do that after you roll.
Right. All right. So roll.
Okay, that's a 9, which means that if you take the team the help, then that'll make it a full hit.
Go ahead, we got lots.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and do that.
Okay, so that means that you recognizing that your teamwork here, you're here to protect the people. So, you keep the people safe from this energy that seems to be like arcing out and emanating from this strange tree. But then you also get to choose one from the list of add a team to the pool. You just spent one, but you could put it back, or take influence over someone you protect, or clear a condition.
I'll add it back to the pool.
Okay.
Team.
All right. Curie.
Okay, I was told to try and help get the citizens out,
Mm-hmm.
and I think since the zoo crew have recoiled back from
It was a moment like that that was a temporary thing.
okay. I was gonna try and take that moment to try and basically call the civilians to me so that show them a path out.
Yeah, absolutely. So that I think it is in their defense. So I could see the case for it being a defend, but more specifically, it sounds like a provoke someone because you're trying to direct them.
I'll provoke.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So
to
that's
make them up.
when you provoke someone susceptible to your words, say what you're trying to get them to do, and roll plus superior. And I don't know that you would necessarily have influence over them, but they're scared and looking for someone to help them. So I think they would be open to suggestions in that.
Okay, so +1 then for
I think again, like before, you can borrow that help basically.
yeah, I'll borrow the help.
Well,
Well,
you
I
can
mean,
wait, roll and see
roll
if
and
it
see
would be-
first.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, see, but that's
Yeah,
another
I will
9.
borrow
So
the help
yeah.
to make that a full hit.
All right, and so that means for NPCs on a 10+, they rise to the bait and do what you want, and you can, So, you are able to. So what does this look like? You.
So basically, Kiri is just calling out civilians this way. I will cover you.
Okay. And I think that you all see now that with heroes on the scene, the zoo crew has also seemed to stop having any interest in the civilians, and they're their desire to create a scene seems to they're happy to shift their focus in that regard. The panda obviously has been depowered with the amulet removed, but you watch as the lemur sort of jumps up like he's about to dive into some water. But what happens is that he dives underground, immediately digging a tunnel like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. And the giraffe starts his arms and legs get even longer, and he's striding around with these crazy proportions, and he's swinging at the end of this long neck, swinging his giant head like a club.
Oh boy.
So I think probably we're Vanguard. Let's what are you doing at this point?
The Vanguard
Mm-hmm.
sees this and directed people to save the civilians, so Granddad is appeased. Check. The tree has been cut off from the weird energy that it's given off. Well, there's only one thing to do. There's a big weed in the yard. I'm going to pull it. Vanguard's going to run up, and since I am super strong,
Okay.
he's going to try to bear hug the tree and pull it out of the ground.
Okay. All right. I think this sounds like an unleash your powers to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that your +1 was for the assess the situation was for the civilians and the amulets, and so I think that you don't have a bonus for this.
Right.
Okay, so that is a 9, and so that sounds like, I mean, Mayhem was right there, having just punched the tree, so she could maybe give you an assist here.
Yeah. Matter of fact, that's why I did it, because I saw that she physically hit it, so that means I could touch it.
Yeah, absolutely. With the assist.
All right, so I think you your muscles bulge. You're grabbing around this tree, but it's so big around that you kind of your arms can't quite get all the way around it. But then you feel linking hands with yours, Mayhem, and you circling this tree and then pulling it up out of the ground, and you can feel the plaza sort of shuddering and trembling beneath you as you're pulling out this
Someone somewhere said, "Damn tree huggers."
Well, this is the opposite of what tree huggers want usually.
and so what you find is that as soon as you've sort of broken its connection with the ground, it actually sort of explodes into purple lightning, in your hands. And you're not hurt by this because, you got a perfect hit on, you got your 10 plus result here. But you seem to have destroyed the tree, and now it seems clear in the immediate aftermath that the tree was not powering the amulets, it was the result of the amulets. And you've destroyed that manifestation of the power, but now this purple lightning that seems to be arcing out from those amulets is more chaotic, and it's sort of flickering all over the place and leaving little scorch marks where it sort of passes by. And so it's currently sort of an environmental hazard.
And I'm trying to keep a mystical cage around it.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that you are keeping it within this sort of narrow area, but certainly all of you are within.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ones rushing in anyway. And so, Flair, what are you doing?
Okay. So this is like a rules thing, but maybe not. I have this power, alien tech. When you alter a human device
Mm-hmm.
with your alien technology, roll plus freak. So Flair is kind of, I'm going to try to fly up to someone and use my powers to try to alter this device,
Mm-hmm.
and if it might just completely bounce off. It's not a human device. This power has no impact.
I think I would say allow that it counts as a human device for the purpose of the
Okay.
power. So
Okay.
right now we already have Antares has taken the pandas off and is holding it. So that one
Right.
we would have pretty easy access to.
Right, but
The-
I'm going to go after the one that the giraffe has.
Sure. Okay. Because the lemur is not currently visible, seems to be
Right.
underground somewhere. But yes, so
Right.
you're going after the giraffe. So I think that to get at it might require some other move first. I think
Okay.
you might need to directly engage a threat to be able to get
Okay,
your hands
sure.
on it.
Sure, I'll give that a try.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So that's a 9. Which I don't know that anyone is in a position to immediately
Yeah.
help you out right now.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay, so that is still going to give you the opportunity to pick one from the list, which could include take something from them.
Yep, I will take something from them. I want to take
Okay.
I want to take one of those things too.
I think though that as you are in contact with them, you are also going to somewhat similar to with Antares. You are going to briefly feel a very strange sensation that you normally radical shapeshifting. You can control the shape of your body like any way you want, but I wonder if it's somewhat alarming or unsettling to feel like your arms or legs are going to get longer against your will.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty unsettling.
Yeah.
So-
So I think that like that feels like it's a temporary effect, but because you didn't choose resist or avoid their blows, I think there's
Right. No, yeah.
that element, and also that like as a brief moment of like as you're sort of taken aback from that, that big head at the end of the neck like just wallops around and just like knocks you away, but you come away holding
Okay.
the amulet.
Do I take a condition?
Yes.
I think insecure would make sense.
Yeah. Maybe just an element of like there's something more to this. Like what else is happening? But you've got the amulet now.
Yeah.
And the giraffe seems to like have suddenly returned to more normal humanoid proportions. They were always a little like that's a long neck for a guy.
Yeah.
But not like 8 feet long.
Yeah.
But and so like he's kind of collapsed and looking like exhausted now, but you have that that device. Did you want? I'll let you go ahead and use that move right now if you have an idea for it.
Okay. Yeah. Let me roll freak. See what happens.
Wow, look at that! 13,
Nice.
full hit. So what's the text?
Okay.
Again?
So, the impossible thing that it can do is reveal to me its nature.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I'm going to choose it works exceptionally well. So maybe it reveals more than just its nature.
Yeah.
And
let
I mean, I am completely happy with this result having like weird side effects as well.
yeah, I was just thinking about what would happen right away. I'm gonna we'll come back to that, so we'll understand that
Okay.
that's happening. But I think for the panel so far, we'll see your eyes widen, like something has happened, but no one else really
Yeah.
knows.
And
it yet.
there's a ring of this patterned iron that is the hallmark of Flair's technology now kind of wrapped around the thing. Showing that it's altered and that's how it appears in the comic whenever he does that.
Nice. So I think in the meantime, all of a sudden the lemur seems to emerge from another one of these holes in the plaza, but he makes this weird like chirp 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 sound, and all of a sudden it looks like there is like a couple of dozen of duplicates of him in all different like holes, like all peeking up out of it and then like diving down into the holes again. And but like as they disappear, like the holes are there. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like it's just illusory.
I just had an idea of whack-a-lemur.
I was thinking more meerkat than lemur.
I guess I
Yeah,
am
there was-
sort of doing more meerkat than lemur, I suppose. Yeah. So
Honestly,
the
for
meerkat.
something like
Yeah.
the zoo crew,
Well,
I
or
think-
maybe they're unclear.
I think for something like the zoo crew, a lame
Yeah.
villain,
Yeah.
actually understanding the animal makes perfect sense.
hmm Okay, so this and all of this purple lightning is sort of still flickering around. Who's got a move?
Antares wants to charge up his powers. So
Yeah?
it's
All right.
it's because he had an idea what he's going to use when if he can get the burn go up. So he's
Great.
going to go right. So I have two conditions, so I roll +2 on this.
Mhm.
And
Okay,
Full
that's
hit.
a
Full
full
hit.
hit.
so I get
all right,
I hold
yeah,
3 burn.
3 burn. Yeah. So what would you like to do?
I would like to use elemental awareness. Spend 1 burn and mark a condition to open your mind up to the world around you with your powers. So I'm
Okay.
I know it's risky. We always got to do this.
Yeah. What does
but
it
it's kind
look
of-
like? What does Antares look like when you do that?
It looks like
your
this.
skin is glowing because you've charged up.
My skin is glowing and this cosmic energy is kind of swirling around him like a big nebula.
All right, nice.
And the question he wants to know is which one is the real lemur?
Okay. Yeah, so you definitely can sense now that the other ones are not illusions. Like they're physical, but they are distinct from the one where you the energy source of this amulet. For all of them except one, the amulet is just fake conjured thing. But you can tell which one is the real one for sure. And
Okay.
so, as they keep popping out and I think everyone's feeling like the ground is starting to get a little unsteady, like they're just hollowing out the underneath of this plaza right now. And you realize this close to the water, like it could cause this
Oh, yeah.
whole thing to just like collapse into the water.
Yeah.
If they
If you'll-
keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah, if you point out which one is the real one and where
I
they
will.
are,
Yep.
Mayhem will absolutely punch down through the cement and grab them.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, you can just like,
Yeah.
that one. Okay. So I think, you want to go ahead and directly engage a threat, Mayhem?
Yep.
And I think you've got a +1 to this. Well, I think let's say it again. We could spend the team since you have a ton anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, it counts as help, so you can get a +1 on it if you need it.
That's an 8.
Okay. So does someone else want to try to also add a help?
Uh,
I mean,
Yeah,
would it
I'll-
do anything with it being bringing it to a 9?
I mean, if 2 people are helping, if she's getting 1 help from Antares' question, and also someone helps in a different way, it can't.
I guess I thought the max bonus you could get for any roll was +4.
Well, certainly for a roll, can you only ever have 1 person helping at a time? Let's see.
Well, because
Well, hang on.
dangerous
Yeah,
is 3.
Yes,
Yes.
I understand. But this is we're adding to the result, not rolling though. That's the distinction. But using team, let's see. Multiple teammates can spend team from the pool to help on the same roll. Even low rolls can be turned into hits when the whole group pitches in and there's enough.
There it is.
Okay.
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Yes.
So I want to make sure.
It's a fair question. That's the answer, though. So if someone else is nearby enough to assist in some way.
Flair is always
think-
nearby. He's
yeah.
zooming around all over the place.
Mhm.
So, yeah, this is punching the ground to grab the lemur out of the ground. Is that?
All right.
That's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you wanna- Okay. Yeah. Let's see. How's Flair gonna help that?
Maybe stick their hand into the hole in front of him, and shine a bright light to blind
If I may,
him.
yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Flair turns into a big whack-a-mole mallet.
Okay. Absolutely, I am on board with this 100%.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. And in
Yeah.
fact, this is a move that we've practiced before, where
Yeah.
where Flair turns into some kind of weapon and
Mhm.
Mayhem holds him while
Yeah.
Flair whacks him.
absolutely.
Yeah, and so this turns that into a 10. So
Mhm.
I think that means you get to choose 2 from the list. You know, resist or avoid their blows, take something from them, create an opportunity, impress, surprise, or frighten.
Take
Um,
that amulet.
Yeah, I think we take that amulet and avoid the blows.
Okay.
Like if, yeah.
Right. So as soon as they, as you've got the amulet off of them, all of the duplicates vanish, and the ground is still feeling kind of shaky, and the 3 amulets you can see are like, the lightning is arcing around them, and it seems very unstable in this condition. Like the energy is now completely undirected, and it feels like it's building. But certainly, all 3 of the Zoo Crew individuals seem like they're going to try to slink away if they can.
I think what Kiri would like to do is go up to get a hold of one of them, and basically try to find out where they got those.
Okay.
Like,
That sounds
I
like
think-
provoke someone.
Okay. Well, my thought was I guess I was thinking it pierce the mask.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yeah. So that's a roll plus mundane.
dang, don't have any influence or anything. So,
That's a 9. So a 9 would let you ask one of those questions, which are, what are you really planning? What do you want me to do? What do you intend to do? How could I get your character to blank? How could I gain influence over you?
honestly, how can I get your character to give us the truth about the amulets?
Okay. So with bearing in mind that I could tell you how to do that, it doesn't mean that you have the information now. You would have to
Yeah,
do the thing,
yeah.
right? I think that I think that he says, I'll tell you, but you got to let us get away. Which one did you grab, by the way?
I think I would have been closer to the lemur, so I would have.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, he's a little guy, and you just like,
Yeah.
come on, obviously you stopped what we were doing, but let us just scram out of here, and I'll tell you where we got it.
If we let you go, and we see you anywhere near here, you're going into a very different zoo than the animals.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like, what do I don't know? Hang around the Hobbit district for anyway?
And if you lie to us about those amulets, we will come find you.
I mean, how would you know?
Oh, we will know.
Okay. But yeah, like you got to call your buddies off though.
Harbor kids.
So in the meantime, the rest of the harbor kids have these 3 amulets that are going, and the electricity is arcing and like scorching and melting the pavement.
Vanguard's
Yeah.
going to, because they look like, basically they look to him like they're going to blow up.
Mm.
So he wants to get them together and try to throw them in space
Mhm,
to get them
mhm.
off of, to get them out of the city to stop if they
Okay.
decide to,
Sure.
blow up.
I'll
So
happily give you this thing. This thing is terrible.
okay, yeah.
And he looks
So
to Flair and says, "I won't throw them in the sun. I promise."
assuming that nobody
What?
is arguing the question, go ahead and I think this is unleash your powers.
You can't do that without talking to me first, dude.
He said he wouldn't throw them into the sun. That's what he said.
Yeah. I know you have people up there, and I don't want, I've always thought Superman throwing things into the sun was flawed.
Yeah.
All right. Look at that. Full
Oh.
hit.
Bam.
So-
Nice.
I want to ask the question just related to your strength. My inclination. You know what? Never mind. I think the question of whether or not you are strong enough to literally put them in orbit or beyond is not answered today, because before they could ever get that high, they're going pretty fast up there, but there is a purple detonation
Boom.
in the sky that seems to it is well far enough away that it does not cause any damage on the ground.
And what about the energy that was here that I've got in a something of a
Yeah,
cage?
so it was definitely all coming from the amulets, and so like with the amulets thrown up into the sky, the energy is all dispersed
it
now.
dissipates. Okay.
Yeah. But I think that we have
Blair's revelation.
yeah. Which I was just trying to think how to not have this just be doubled up information for what Curie is, demanding.
I mean, it could
okay.
be like a
Yeah. I think
side by
that
side
yeah.
panel.
So here's the question though. Like, Curie, are you like the lemur and the giraffe and the panda are like the giraffe? I think the giraffe and the panda are just like running, and then the lemur. So it's like a question of whether everyone's going to chase them. The lemur, you're already grabbed, but he's.
I would have called to them to everybody else to just let them go, and we'll get information for it. Like, or I would call to Vanguard specifically. If we let them go, we'll get information.
Okay. So how about this? This is a provoke someone to get you have influence over them.
Yes, I do.
So if you want to roll superior, or like the thing is when it's between PCs, we can also just role play it straight. But if you want it to be a move,
if you want it to be a move, it can be a move. But
Well, see. Here's the thing: if you make it a move, then if you succeed, you get usually get like a +1 forward, and if you fail, then you get advancement. So
yeah, okay, I'll go ahead and roll.
you get potential. So
okay. So that means that you can choose, for example, if they do it, you add a team to the pool.
I ain't like that.
Okay. So but Vanguard, do you do what Curie is suggesting?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's fine in this situation. We've eliminated the immediate threats. We need to wrangle these guys up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the lemur says so like I said, I promised I'd tell you where we got him. And so I'm just the this is the news on the ground, right? Like if I tell you, you gotta let me go.
I have him like by his collar, and I say, Yes.
Okay. The reason I kind of wanted to just to clear that confirmation is because I think the answer is not gonna be too satisfying for you. Basically, it was just a weird big guy in a trench coat that said he came to our hideout and he said I'll give you power, but you could never imagine and blah 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 blah. And all I ask is that you cause chaos in the city.
The Colonel.
Did you get a name? Did he give you a name?
Look, he's a big guy in a trench coat handing out amulets. What am I asking him his name for?
So up
That's enough.
until this
I'll,
time,
I'll kind
I-
of push him away.
All right.
up until this time, I've had the hoodie on
Mhm.
and like covering my face. I step up to this lemur guy, just pull back enough to show my eyes and go, "Did he give you a name?"
Or so this is so are you provoking someone to like intimidate him? That sounds like
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll plus superior.
Which I don't have any of, but
Okay.
ah,
that's a miss.
that's
So,
really bad.
I think at this point, Curie had already let them go, and they just said, "It's like, hey, lady, you might want to like see a dermatologist or something." And runs away.
Yeah.
And so I think, yeah, he gets away. So,
Okay,
Yeah.
let's see.
You usually get potential, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. But so
Yeah.
I think that is where I think we can well, no, so we're going to go ahead and do the end of session moves here, but also I think where the ending panel is going to be Flair's revelation, which is that there is an energy signature that is similar to the conjured energy of the shadow creatures that you fought from the other dimension, but it has been modified. It has been changed in a way that feels like it is like this is hybrid technology. It is the magic from that other dimension combined with technology from this one.
Mm-hmm. A Reese's peanut butter cup of doom.
Yes.
And although you don't off the top of your head immediately recognize where it came from in this dimension, you know that you would recognize it if you saw it again.
Okay.
All right. And so let's go ahead and do our end of session move. So at the end of session, everyone needs to choose one from this list of you can grow closer to the team, explain who made you feel welcome, give influence to that character, and clear a condition or mark potential. Or grow into your own image of yourself, explain how you see yourself and why, shift one label up and another down. Or grow away from the team, explain why you feel detached, take influence over you away from another character.
I'm going to say grow closer to the team. While everyone has influence on me right now, I really want that potential because I've been sitting it for the entire session,
Oh,
and I want to get that fifth one.
need to fail
Hey,
some
Yep.
rolls.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
I tried.
Yeah.
Vanguard
I rolled
will
on
look at-
danger. I've got a -1, and I
So
still succeeded.
who made you feel welcome?
Um.
I mean,
Mayhem?
Mayhem.
Yeah.
Mayhem. Absolutely.
Mayhem.
Mayhem.
yeah.
Well, yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mayhem is the embodiment of yes and for Flair.
All right.
Vanguard felt made comfortable by Curie. In fact, Vanguard would thank Curie after being like, "Thanks for for helping me out earlier. It really got me locked in. I think my granddad would be proud at this point."
All right.
I saved people and I ripped a tree out of ground. That's pretty dope. Let's see Arcana do that.
You threw some amulets into the sky before they blew up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Great. Everyone gets to do this. So.
Yep.
Who
And,
else?
and
Yep.
Taurus feels less insecure thanks to Vanguard's good leadership and leading the team against the Zoo Crew. So that's how I feel goes to the team in the clear condition.
All right.
Yeah.
I think I grew closer to the team. I specifically Vanguard, because had a moment where guide him on his journey to his full potential.
I think Mayhem feels a lot closer to Flair, and just
Are you going to
they
change
had a
your
good
love?
time. They had a great time.
Are you going to change your love from Antares to Flair now?
Antares to Flair. Yeah, I think so.
Alright.
I think that makes
Flair,
sense.
and I think my rival is going to go back from Colonel Karzan because he hasn't been in this episode, and I'm going to forget about his ass. To Vanguard.
Yeah.
Are we sure he hasn't been in the
Yeah.
episode?
Remember too that
No,
when you're
no.
doing this grow closer, you give influence to whichever character you're saying if they don't have it already.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
Did we get Ilanils?
Not yet. I'm going to say I definitely grew closer, definitely with Curie, who already has influence on me. But Curie's the one who like brought me home and fed me food and
Oh, that
all these other things that I haven't experienced before because Brave New World and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And
All right.
at the end, mark the guilty.
Okay.
Like
Weird.
remove condition.
All right. Great. So, what will happen next for the Harbor Kids? We'll find out when we return for more adventure on so many levels.
So many levels.
Yay!